Well, Coach, thank you for joining me tonight. And I first got to say, 72-0. What were you guys on? Oh my goodness.
Man, I think it was just a night where our kids really executed at a really high level. I think once we kind of got rolling offensively, Deuce obviously got it started. At one point, I think it was Coach Brown or one of the other coaches was like, "All right, he's done for the night," and it was after like his second or third carry because we wanted to get some stuff going in the passing game, and we were like, "Man, if we keep giving it to him, it's you're not going to have that opportunity." But he just had a special night, and some of those touchdowns were just completely him, in the second or third level, just breaking tackles and making great plays.
Now, of course, we got to talk about that defense. I mean, obviously, holding them to 0 points. Whitehall probably only had 4 or 5 first downs the entire night. I mean, and it just seemed like, I know the running game for them couldn't ever really get going. They had that one really they just put that defensive tackle at running back, and he was making some plays, but you guys were in the backfield so much. What was the game plan? What did y'all see that allowed that to work so well?
Well, I mean, the game plan kind of went out the window when they came out in the dead tee and then the flex bone and the wing tee. Coach Patton, we'd played him before when he was at box site, and they ran that there. So we kind of, in the back of our head, just kind of thought maybe we might see it, but you just never know until you get out there. And I was really proud of our kids for just adjusting on the fly. It was nothing that we necessarily prepared for all week. So I was really proud of our kids and my coaches, Coach Shields, Coach Dunn, Coach Bullock, Coach Bolden, Coach Patterson, Coach Ackland. They all did a great job of just, kind of meeting after the first drive and saying, okay, here's our plan. This is what we're going to do. And they communicated it really well to the kids, and the kids executed it pretty flawlessly. So I was really proud of that.
Now you guys have a little tougher of a matchup coming up. You guys have Beebe today, and of course they're coming into this game. They're 4-2. It's the first time you guys have played a team that has a winning record coming into this matchup. So I know this is going to be highly anticipated. And I was just looking at and I didn't realize until not long ago. I didn't realize that one of the Cersei running backs that was so good last year is now at Beebe, Curtis Goodrich, and I know he's going to be. I think he's coming up on 1,000 rushing yards this year already. So he's probably going to be a guy to it's going to be a handful.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously had a really good game last week against Pine Bluff. Ran really hard. He's kind of a squattier, thicker back, so we've got to really bring our hands when we come to tackle. The quarterback, he played against us, I guess, 2 years ago when we played there. So he's a senior. He does a really good job of just managing the offense and getting them in the things that they want to do. They play, they're a little different. They're similar to last year in the sense of they're going to formation you to death, and so that's what we spent a lot of time on this week. And so we've got to do a really good job of just getting lined up. I feel like if we can get lined up, our guys can fly around and make plays. But if we're having to really think about where we're supposed to align and how we've got to, get the calls in and stuff like that, then it's going to cause us some trouble. But we went down there, I guess, 2 years ago and did not play well at all and squeaked one out. Thankfully, John Tate, had a really good game and made some big kicks for us and kept us in that one. And then we finished it. And then last year, they scored first and they got the onside and kind of jumped on us a little bit and shell shocked our kids. So we've reiterated that they're not somebody to be taken lightly. We're excited to go down there and play. We've kind of, went with the mantra of it doesn't really matter who we're playing. Everybody gets to see us play. And if we're going to be this special team that we think we're capable of, we might as well put on a show every Friday. But it all comes down to us executing defensively and lining up. If we can do that, I feel really good about it.
Now, I was also going to mention that was like I didn't commentate that game last year, but I do remember uh, later that night looking at the score and pretty shocked. I mean, they played tough, but one of the things that I know was an adjustment that Caleb Doucette had been having a great year, and then I think he was out due to injury,
Yeah.
and so obviously he was a big miss, but Lennox Campos had his coming out party, and I don't know, 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, something like that. Do you think we could see another Lennox Campos, legacy game against Beebe?
Yeah, I would love that for us and for Lennox. Lennox, BB plays really hard and they're very physical, and that kind of is right up Lennox's alley. He's obviously, not the most physically imposing defensive end, but he plays with really good technique, and he's just a tough kid. So I look, him and Caleb Smith, our ends, got to have a really big game. And then in the interior, Pat and Fisher. Sheriff Wolf, Trayson King, those guys on the interior have to have a really good game of just, doing their responsibility. We always talk about, do your 1 of 11. And those guys on defense have really got to do that. If our ends aren't squeezing or spilling properly, we're going to have a long night. And so we've really got to be able to do our job. And then the secondary, we can't fall asleep. They're not going to throw it just a ton. And so we can't just, when they do, we can't fall asleep, and we've got to make a play on the football.
Now, one guy that, of course, against Whitehall, Watson Chapel, Jacksonville, we've gotten to see a lot of the second and third string guys, and that's been really great, seeing who could be the future of this program and all that. And one guy that, in my opinion, I certainly think he could be the future is Aaron Freeman. It just seems like every time he's on the field, he makes a great play. But not only him, I've been noticing the last couple of games, I think it's Evan Hill has been coming in and making some big plays. So talk to me about those guys.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at our freshman team last year, it was in the skill spots. A lot of it was, Evan Hill, Aaron Freeman, and Braylon Brown. And obviously, Braylon's got a little bit more of the notoriety, but we've always been super high on Aaron and Evan. They JV Monday nights, they've made a ton of plays. They're both, they might be 140 pounds soaking wet, but they are just physical children. And, Aaron's brother, Anthony, was on the 21 state title team, and he was
Yeah.
not, he was maybe 150. And, Anthony had no qualms about, trying to knock somebody out. And Aaron's kind of, done that as well. The biggest thing with Aaron and Evan that I've noticed is the lights just haven't been too big for them. They've got some things that they can work on. We all do, but they've really just not shied away from the magnitude that it is to play on the number 1 team in 5A, and there's some pressure. They've just kind of stepped up, and you could see it. Evan actually tore his ACL the last series of his freshman year, and didn't get to play baseball. He's a pretty good baseball player too, and so he didn't get to go through any offseason stuff. But when we moved the freshman up, Aaron, they always say, if a dog's going to bite, they're going to bite as a puppy. And Aaron, when he jumped in those practices last, fall after their season was over, he was ready to go. And so it's no surprise that they're both just super competitive, and they just have a knack, especially Evan, for making plays. So it's been big because we've had to move Kyron around some at free, and we're starting to get more and more comfortable with Evan being back there. We always kind of knew he was going to be the future back there, but we feel more and more comfortable now of putting him back there. And, Aaron's fighting for as many reps at corner as he can get. And that room is obviously extremely competitive, and he's making his case every week, whether it be in practice or on Friday night or in JV games, to play more. He's played some running back on JV nights because we're a little beat up at that position, and he's done a great job there and made some great plays.
Now, something else, I know that sometimes what you like to do, you like to use that halfback and just kind of shock everybody, especially if it's Jackson Redmond or Lennox Campos, go out and catch a pass. And, typically they're wide open. And in this case, it was Lennox Campos that got a touchdown last week. But who threw the pass was a little surprising. Talk to me about that play call.
Yeah, so we've had it in since the Jacksonville week, and we had got it called, and their safeties backed off, so we were like, okay, we couldn't run it, and then we called it the other night, and it was open. Deuce couldn't see over the line, unfortunately, and so he kind of scrambled and just made a pass. We've kind of made it a point that we want Deuce to have the opportunity to score in multiple ways or be a part of scoring. just because we think he's having a pretty special season. And, we're just trying to, I guess, kind of grow the legacy that he's kind of building here. And, he's a playmaker, and he could have easily ran it in. But Lennox was wide open, and, those two are friends. So it was a special moment for them. We had another H score. Aiden Scott, caught that last touchdown with a club on his left hand.
Yeah.
Just got that off yesterday, thankfully.
Oh, that's good.
But we've got some playmakers all over the field, and that's been the fun thing about our JV season is we're getting to see. We've played about 7 or 8 games, and we're getting to see these young guys make a lot of plays. And it's they're getting to play quite a bit on Friday night right now because of some of the scores, and it's just really it feels great as a coach to know that you've got guys in the pipeline who are making plays.
Well, my last question here. We're finally at the point of the season where it's no longer middle of the year. Technically, it's not middle of the year. You're coming down, at the bottom. And, of course, some of your toughest games are on the schedule. Obviously, you got Beebe, but you got Searcy next week. Then you got Pine Bluff, who traditionally has that solid defense, and then Maumelle to end the year. Then at this rate, you have the playoffs. So talk to me about what you tell your team when you're coming down the second half of the year.
Yeah, I think the message just kind of stays the same in a lot of ways. Our kids, they're not dumb. They know what we've played. They know what's coming up. And so we're just trying to each week just work on us and keep focusing on what we've got to work on. We've spent a lot of practice time, especially defensively and just in individual work, trying to shore up the little things. Coach Driver, my offensive line coach, has done a great job with that group, but we're still trying to just shore up, little deficiencies. And he loves the group he has, and he's trying to keep continuing it growing, and he's done a great job. So those areas where we're trying to work it. And then the running back room, we're just trying to get healthy. Deuce is obviously healthy. You got to see Trey Petty a little bit the other night, which is exciting for us. And then Bryce Shawn is really starting to come on, but we've got a couple other backs that are a little banged up right now that we want to see. We just got to get them cleared and ready to go. And then the passing game, just keep evolving. Reese played really well the other night. I just want to keep continuing to see that, especially as the competition continues to get harder. And it'll be a challenge this week. And Reese has got to take that on, and his guys got to continue to make plays for him. We're so talented at receiver. I'd still love to see, Braylon Brown get to make some more plays and us get him the ball in some different ways because he's a special kid that can, do some stuff with the ball in his hands. And, it's just continue to focus on us and how we can get better and whatever gets us to, December 6th, as healthy as we can be and playing the best football at that time.
All right, fantastic. Well, Coach, thank you so much. And I'll, of course, see you during the game. But, we're going to send it right back to the field.
Appreciate it.
And good evening and welcome to the Robinson Sports Network presented by UAMS Health and by First Community Bank. It is a beautiful night here at Bro Irwin Stadium in Beebe, Arkansas. Your Joe D. Robinson Senators are on the road once again, the second game of a 3-game road trip against the Beebe Badgers. And again, we welcome you tonight. I'm Chris Gay, your play-by-play commentator. This is Will Stafford, your color analyst. And Will, this should be a fun matchup. Obviously, Robinson They're flying high right now. They're perfect overall. Actually, one of 3 teams left in 5A, all of 5A, that still has a perfect record of 6-0. And then the Beebe Badgers having a pretty solid season. They were 6-5 last year. Looking pretty good again this year. They're 4-2 overall, 2-1 in conference play. And, of course, Will, now we're coming down to the second half of the season. Now everybody's thinking about playoffs.
Yeah, this is the last full month of regular season football that we're going to see. We have a few notes here and there about playoff implications and what that can look like. In the 5A Central, you're looking at a Robinson that is 3-0. As we were talking about, they are undefeated throughout the season. That makes them 6-0 on the season, 3-0 in conference play. Searcy's going to be 3-0. Maumelle is 3-0, and then Beebe is 2-1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 5A Central. And then in the 5A conference overall, throughout the state of Arkansas, you have Robinson at 6-0, Greenbrier at 6-0. You have Lakeside at 5-1, who that one loss was to your Robinson Senators.
Yep.
So, and then Farmington 4-2, Hot Springs 5-1, Searcy 6-0, and I believe we're about to have the colors on the field. But Robinson will be playing a lot of these teams in the next few weeks. We have 4 games, including tonight against Beebe. We have Beebe, which is the 4 seed in 5A Central. Searcy is the 2 seed, which we play next week. We have Pine Bluff as the 5 seed on Halloween night, and Maumelle as the 3 seed in 5A Central on November 6th. Now, that is a very, very tough schedule to end the year. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is so. Does that make sense? You see what I'm trying to say?
I got you.
Yeah. So that is the top 5 teams will be playing for. Man, I'm trying to like word this the way I'm trying. I have it in my head, but it's playing 4-2-5-3 is probably the best way to explain that.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, not every team, not every conference has. Well, Robinson has a very unique, conference. You look at the start of conference play. No disrespect to any of those teams, but they're not one of those 5 teams that you just mentioned. Everybody else, this Beebe game. Beebe, yes, they're 4-2, but you look at the numbers. Statistically, Robinson has them beat in just about every category. So Senator fans might think this is an easy win. No, this is a trap game.
Yeah.
This is absolutely, it was last year. Robinson was soaring through everybody, was just destroying everybody. And then they met Beebe at home, and they were shocked. Coach Updegrove talked about it last year. I think Beebe scored on the first 2 drives, and it was shell shock for that young Senator team. Well, most of those guys are back from last year. They know good and well what happened in last year's matchup. So Beebe obviously 4-2, but they're good. But this could be potentially, if Robinson does not lock in from the opening kickoff, it could be an issue.
And I think that's something we were talking about it before the game or before we went live today. That there have been some players that have really kind of started to find their groove. One specifically is Reese Simpson, going 14 for 16 for 174 yards last week. 3 touchdowns, and 2 of them are to Hakeem Frampton, which at the beginning of the year we were talking about. That connection needs to be there for the Robinson Senators to be very good. Now, that was before we knew who Deuce Williams truly was, right? But with Hakeem Frampton scoring 2 touchdowns last week, that makes me feel like, and both of those were 35-yard returns or receptions, 4 touchdowns. So this is not a connection that is broken anymore. It feels like both Hakeem and Reese both have this kind of. I feel like we've been waiting on the connection for a very long time, and we finally have seen it in the past few weeks. We've seen, we'll put it bluntly, some blowouts, but it has given Reese Simpson a lot of confidence because he has played some of his best football in the past 3 weeks.
You're absolutely right, and now they're meeting a defense that's probably the best defense they've faced since conference play began. As far as I can tell, Robinson has not given up a sack since week 0 against Pulaski Academy. If they allowed one here and there, then I totally forgot about it. This Badger front could put a lot of pressure on that Senator offensive line. Obviously, they've been great all year. You got Dominio Patterson on as your left tackle, Jaden Boston on the other end, Foster, Sheriff Wolf, Fisher Taylor, C.J. Bryan also playing, in the trenches, and they've done a fantastic job. But they're going to have to be extra careful against this very experienced Badger front. You got a guy like Madden Harbin, who really who's really come into his own this season. He's their second-string running back, but starting defensive end. One of his best games. He leads the team in sacks with 2. That's 10 tackles for loss, 3 hurries. He's got a forced fumble. He had 3 tackles for loss and a sack against Nettleton at the beginning of the year. Then you got a guy like DeAndre Tremule, who's got 2.5 tackles for loss, and then some of their guys that also play on the offensive line. Big boys up front. You got a guy like DJ Eckert, who's got a tackle for a loss. Keandre Brooks has 6 of those and a sack. So this is definitely one of the better defensive fronts they're going to face this year. Do they get a lot of sacks? No, not necessarily, but they get in the backfield, and that's the key to shut that down. Well, your Senator captains are on the field. A little too far away for us to tell exactly. I think Reese Simpson and Hakeem Frampton.
I see the pink.
Yeah, and so Frampton's one of the captains for tonight's game. I think that's Reese on the far right. I want to say that's Kyron Grimes right there in the middle, but I don't know. We'll see. But we'll be able to see the Beebe captains more likely. Of course, one of the regular captains is their star receiver, number 30, Cameron Johnson. He leads the team with 244 receiving yards. He's found the end zone 3 times. Actually, 4 times this year. 3 from the air, 1 on the ground. Number 19 is their quarterback on that far right. It's Ty McCormick. He's a very experienced quarterback. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions this year. And then the other captains for tonight, number 77, Eli Osborne, their leader on that offensive line. And number 50, DJ Eckert, another senior offensive lineman. And Will and I, we were talking about it earlier in the game, or before this game. This is a very experienced team. I mentioned experienced quarterback, experienced receiver, but you look at the offensive line. I think all their starters are seniors, or at least 4 of them are. You got their entire defensive front are seniors. A lot of their actually pretty much their entire receiving corps is a senior. Even their kicker's a senior, and of course their star running back Curtis Goodrich is also a senior. So, very experienced team, and that's definitely. That adds to the element of this being a trap game. Yeah,
absolutely. And trap game is a very important, phrase here because so I've done the math. Robinson has won every game by an average of 37 points, which is unbelievable to think about. The closest one being a 1-point win against I believe, is Jonesboro 6 or 7A? So they're a 6A, so playing up, they beat a 6A team by 1. That was a grind of a game. That felt like a forever to get over the line. Actually, one singular, a field goal, an extra point, a missed extra point was the difference in that game. But 37 points per game as a win margin is something that you don't take lightly as a team. And when you're going against a team like Beebe, who are probably going to be the best defense you face for a little while, right? You kind of tend to say, we're winning by 37 points a game. That's not really, we'll be fine, right? But I think on the other side for Robinson, or for Beebe, I should say, you're looking at, and we see a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, we got some fireworks at Badger or at Bro Irwin Stadium.
A lot of them. My goodness. Anyway, so but you're looking at Beebe. You have quite a few offensive weapons to try and shut down on the Robinson side. You're looking at, of course, the ever so dangerous Deuce Williams, 17 touchdowns on the year, 3 last week. One of them a passing touchdown, by the way, which I'm sure we'll get into here in a little bit. But then you also in the air, you're looking at Hakeem Frampton, right? You're looking at Kyron Grimes, who has kind of built his own little role
Yeah.
on this offense where you're going to see him take a lot of screen passes and kind of take the ball up. And then Josiah Warrior-Benson, who I think is probably the fastest player on this team, outside of maybe Hakeem Frampton, because Hakeem Frampton is a very fast player. A&M sees that in him. But there's a lot to try and cover when you're a opposing defense against this offense. Because we talked about it at the beginning of the year. We thought that the number one priority for Robinson would be their passing game because of how dangerous their wideouts are. But then, a Deuce Williams comes up, whatever. But for Beebe, it's going to be very important to try and shut down every avenue. But with as good as Reese Simpson has looked the past few weeks, I think it's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, we will have to wait to see the Senator offense. Well, I say that. Their kickoff, William Tate's pretty crafty and pretty sneaky on these kickoffs, and so don't ever count out the onside kick opportunity. But for the Badgers, Cameron Johnson, one of the returners, back ready to receive. Let's see what Tate does. It's going to be a short kick, and it will be fair caught by the Badgers.
We have seen a lot of that from William Tate over the past few weeks. We talked to Coach Up. He leaves it up to Tate to figure out if he sees a hole in the special teams unit for whoever they may be playing. He allows Tate to take it on his own. If he sees it, he does it. That's what we saw against Jacksonville. Yep. William Tate saw a few openings, and he kept doing it until Jacksonville figured out how to recover the onside kick against a very good special teams for Robinson.
Yep. And you're absolutely right. 2 onside kicks to open up the game. Third, which was unsuccessful, but still. It's going to be a Wildcat formation. Goodrich is going to be met. I think it's going to be behind the line. Dominio Patterson fired up after making that stop.
And not only is he dangerous on the defensive end, he has 2 touchdowns on the year. That is a big boy taking it off to the end zone. But he did a very good job at reading the Wildcat formation because, we obviously saw Ty McCormick not on the field there for that. So he immediately knew Wildcat formation has to be coming. Gets the easy tackle for loss.
Ty McCormick, the quarterback, he gets the snap, hands off again. Oh, my, Goodrich is met. That was Lennox Campos coming down, making that stop for no gain.
And very quickly, you can kind of see that Robinson knows that Goodrich is going to be kind of the answer for Beebe. He's been that a lot of the year. He has over 900 carry yards on his own this year. So they know, or the Senators know, the coaching staff knows that Goodrich is going to be the answer for them. And so far, they've done a very good job at stopping him in these first 2 plays.
3 receivers on the near side, 1 on the left. That's DeMarco Moore, second leading receiver on the team. Goodrich goes in formation. Pass over the middle is caught by Johnson. Johnson's got a lot of room to run, and Deuce Williams will tackle him out of bounds, but a big pickup for that UAMS first down.
Yeah, and that just seems like a bit of a miscommunication. Honestly, a very good throw by McCormick there. Just right over the middle. Guy gets, I believe, about 20 yards after the catch. So just looked like just a little bit of a miscommunication in the backfield by the Senators.
And the Badgers really moving well this drive. 3 receivers on that near side. Goodrich, the running back. Tight end in motion. McCormick throwing to the outside. It's Johnson again. He's got a lot of room to run. Johnson is brought down, but not before picking up another UAMS first down. They are inching closer and closer to this end zone. That's something the Senators really haven't seen in a while this year.
Yeah, and it's coming from McCormick being able to, he's getting these throws off very, very quickly. On that pass play, he was being very close to being sacked and having to punt it on the first drive, but he got it off just in time. He's able to get these out. He kind of feels the pressure around him and gets it out.
Of course, that is the benefit of a senior quarterback. He just knows when to make the right play. It's going to be a handoff to Goodrich. Goodrich finds a little bit of a gap, but Maybe gets 3 yards on that carry. Will bring up 2nd and goal. Goodrich coming back from the sideline after getting the play call from his head coach. 25 seconds on the play clock. 9:30 left to play in this first quarter. Singular receiver now in motion. It's Johnson. It's going to be another handoff to Goodrich. Goodrich got maybe 2 yards on that carry. That will bring up 3rd down.
I think there's a very real possibility of there still being 2 plays in this drive. You can kind of assume, I'm not going to say assume, but it's a very strong possibility that Goodrich will get this handoff, but it would not surprise me if that gets stuffed, that they'll go for it on 4th down, because you want to try and score as fast as you can on this Senator defense, because this is one of the best defenses in 5A. And it looks like that's exactly what it's going to be. No, I'm sorry.
Man in motion, and I'm surprised there wasn't a flag on the play. Looked like some offensive linemen moved early, but that's a big loss. Jackson Redmond in for the stop. That brings up 4th down, and they're going to still go for it. No, I stand corrected. Alex Rodriguez is going to head onto the field. Andy Rodriguez is going to head on the field.
Yankee legend?
He's a pretty solid kicker. It's right down the middle. It's a quick snap. Hold good. Kick is good. So the Badgers strike first, but a big win for the Senator defense, not letting that drive end up with 6-7 points.
Yeah, and that's been something that we've talked about a bunch in the past few weeks, is that this red zone defense has been nothing short of spectacular. Been absolutely unbelievable, being able to stop the run, being able to stop even on the goal line. We haven't seen a lot of scoring past in the red zone. Most of your scoring from opposing teams is going to come from just kind of chunk plays like we saw at on that 3rd down in the first attempt by the Badgers. Weren't able to score off that, and it kind of bites them.
This is an odd special or kickoff unit formation. I don't know if they've actually... Okay, now they decide to disperse. That was still kind of an interesting formation here. Got 3 different players around the ball.
I'm about to say, it's still an interesting formation.
Keep in mind, Beebe likes to do onside kicks as well. Will be Rodriguez, goes right to Redmond. He jumps up, catches it, and he's going to get a return out of this. It's just a few yards, but good hands by the linebacker. And now the Senators will have the football at the Badger 42-yard line.
That's one of the many, many positives of having a linebacker that can catch the ball. We've seen him in the end zone, I believe, 2 times.
Just once, but he's caught 2 passes.
But he's caught 2 passes. That's what it was. He has great hands for a linebacker, so able to pick up that, and he gets a few yards off of it as well. You would expect somebody like Redmond to maybe fall down and just take it where he had it, but he picks up about, I would say, how many is that? Like 10 yards?
That's pretty close to it, yeah. Senator offense on the field for the first time. Deuce Williams, the running back. Reese Simpson, the quarterback, has 2 receivers to his right, but he's going to hand off to his running back. It's Deuce, who makes a man miss. He pushes somebody down, and he will be tracked down out of bounds around the 26-yard line. No, 25-yard line.
And no matter how much experience you have on the defensive line, what do you do about the shiftiness of a Deuce Williams, right? I mean, that was not his original route to run with the ball in his hand. He found a way to get extra yards, and he picks up a bunch.
And the Badgers will jump, so they're going to call the penalty right after the UAMS first down.
And if you're Beebe, you need to keep those. You need to keep, I'll just call them silly penalties to a minimum, because I'm telling you, the Robinson Senators will make you pay off that.
2 receivers near side. Man in motion, it's Braylon Brown. It's going to be handoff to Williams. Williams, he's got another first down. Oh, he's got a touchdown. Senators into the end zone for the first time tonight. And now your Senators have the lead.
And that was about a 25-yard touchdown run. That is 2 plays and a touchdown. We've seen that actually a couple times in the past few weeks, and it's been Deuce Williams every time.
The 11th rushing touchdown of the season for the senior running back, and now William Tate is on to kick the First Community Bank extra point attempt.
And that's the exact reason why doing something like a hopeful onside kick is probably the most dangerous against Robinson because of how good Deuce Williams is at creating space for himself. But very, very well done by Deuce Williams, and Beebe pays for the decision.
So a Senator a little late coming out onto the field, and that kick is up. Oh, and it's off the upright, and it was a rushed extra point attempt right there. A late Senator. He's probably going to hear it from the coaches.
Already is.
Yeah, so that's definitely unfortunate. But the score will stay right where it is, 6-3 in favor of your Senators.
And I think you're going to see, obviously we're still going to see a big emphasis on the defensive line when it comes to Robinson trying to shut down Curtis Goodrich. But I think you're also going to see maybe a little bit of an extension into the open field. You might see a Josiah Warrior Benson come out as a DB or safety just to try and kind of cover those open spots. Because you're going to see a big defensive line from Robinson, so you still have the opportunity of stopping Goodrich. But if you add that little bit of extra protection out in the open field, you should be able to shut down anything that Ty McCormick is trying to do.
7:47 left to play in the first quarter. Johnson and Moore back to receive for the Badgers. Tate is going to kick it deep this time. Moore's going to let it into the end zone for the touchback. And the Badgers will have the football at the 20-yard line.
I mean, after that first drive, that's what you want. You want to force the Badgers to make a play, especially after McCormick had two very good passes to get them down into the red zone. Man, no opening window makes it feel really weird. I can't hear anybody but ourselves.
Yeah, it's also really hot in here.
It is very, very hot in here. If you guys start hearing a humming noise, I have a fan with me.
Yeah, you might as well put it on, man.
At this point, that's...
Yeah, there's...
Beautiful. I like it.
That automatically dropped down the temperature 5 degrees. I can feel it. Went from 85 to 80. McCormick, handoff to the running back. It's Goodrich. He really hasn't found much of a hole in this defense quite yet. He does get a couple yards on that play, but was stopped by a plethora of Senators.
And Tank Reese, we were talking about it before we went live today. Tank Reese hasn't seen a lot of production. He's back out on the field right now.
I will say that most of the linebackers, really all of the starting defense has really not gotten a lot of tackles, but it's because the offense just kind of blowing the opposition out pretty early on, so the backups get to come in pretty early, and that play was blown up. Fisher Taylor, one of them, to make the stop. Correction, I'm going to say Jackson Redmond read that play beautifully, and that will bring up third down.
And I'm a little curious about this kind of setup by Beebe. You're seeing McCormick go to the sideline after each play, obviously to talk to a coach, but we're not seeing much of him on the field quite yet. But he does it every play.
Yep. Yeah, they don't do hand signals. It's just a direct message They're saying it's just second down on the board. Okay,
It's
they fixed it on the
third
field.
down.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 7. 6:15 left to play.
You can see the extra protection in the open field.
McCormick. And he's not going to get anywhere. Brought down hard, but Josiah Warrior Benson, not quite a sack. They did give up, I think, a yard or maybe no gain, but it will bring out the punt unit for the Badgers.
McCormick did not see Josiah Warrior Benson coming from behind. He was taking off. Josiah Warrior Benson was the original person to put a little pressure on McCormick, and McCormick was running from him, but Josiah Warrior Benson's a little too fast to get away from.
And that was a close punt as Deuce Williams going to make the catch. And a rare stop on special teams. As you're right, the dirty laundry is on the field. We'll see what the call is for.
It was called just before the kick went out, so I would imagine a holding of some sort.
And we'll be on the offense. Or, well, not the offense, the kicking team.
So it's going to free 5 yards for the Senators.
We've yet to see a throw.
Would you throw if you had a Deuce Williams?
No, and also that was a 2-play drive to open up the game. So, yeah. But Josiah Warrior Benson, the lone receiver on the far side. Frampton and Grimes, the receivers on the near side. The running back, as usual, Deuce Williams, Jackson Redmond in to provide some extra blocking, playing that tight end or halfback. Hand off to Deuce. Deuce, he's got some blocking on that right side, and he's got enough for the first down, and he's going to be tracked down. Never actually went down, was pushed out of bounds. See, that was by number 4 on the Badgers. That was Diesel Burklow.
And my goodness, I mean, I think something that we haven't talked enough about this season, you can talk about Deuce Williams for the entire game if you really wanted to, right? But this offensive line has been unbelievable for Deuce Williams and creating space for him to, take off in the open field. Deuce Williams in the open field, past the line of scrimmage, is unbelievable. And so if you can create the holes, he's going to find it.
Deuce again, and he's going to fight for a couple extra yards, but really just the first successful stop against Williams.
And he still got 6 off of it.
Yep. 2nd and 4 with 5 minutes remaining in the period. Trey Petty comes in as an extra receiver, so Warrior Benson, Petty on that left side, Grimes and Frampton on that right side. Actually, it will be 2nd and 6. Deuce still the running back. Man in motion, that's Grimes. Simpson to the outside, it's Warrior Benson. He got a good block. And that's going to be enough for a First Community Bank not First Community Bank.
No, there is going to be a flag. I think it's going to be a holding.
Yeah, it could possibly. Is that a flag?
It is.
That looks brown.
Yeah, that would make it dirty laundry, huh?
No.
It is holding.
Yeah, we'll be holding on the offense, so they'll have to back it up a little bit after what would have been a first down.
Okay, it is more yellow. It's just hard to see on the ground.
Mm-hmm. One lone safety for the Badgers. Looks like they have 3 linebackers set up here. Deuce Williams. He's got a big hole to run through, and
I think he just got right back to where he before the holding call.
Yeah, so that will bring up 3rd down. It will be probably 3rd and 5.
Okay, well, it's just now 2nd and 13 on the scoreboard, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
No. Okay, will be 3rd and 4 from the 23-yard line.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see a little screen pass off to the outside to, I believe that's Kyron Grimes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Grimes and Frampton are on that outside. Campos and Redmond, the two blockers. They switch sides. It's going to be a handoff to Deuce Williams. Oh, he's got a lot of room to run. He stiffs arms 2 men, and he's in for another touchdown. Senators, maybe they'll get an extra point out of this as well, but 12-3 is your score.
And that's just unbelievable. I don't know why I even guessed anything but Deuce Williams. I mean, it's starting, I'm not going to say repetitive, but I sound like a broken record every single time. He's amazing in the open field, and once he can get into that open field, he's amazing at creating space for himself.
And the Senators are going to go 4-2 here to try to bring it up the score to 14. And they're going to jump. It should be on the Badgers. It will be offsides on Beebe, so Robinson get a little closer here on this 2-point attempt.
And again, that's something that Beebe needs to be very wary of for themselves. You can't make silly mistakes like that, especially on just a 2-point conversion.
As far as I can tell, this is only the second 2-point conversion attempted this year. It's going to go to Patterson. Patterson, untouched, into the end zone for the successful 2-point conversion.
And I just want to point out, so earlier in the year, I believe it was week 0, he scored, spiked the ball, got a flag for it.
Second game.
Second game, so week 1 in that case then. Spiked the ball in that game. In this game, just tossed it to the ref and high-fived his teammates. I honestly wouldn't have blamed him if he spiked the ball, man. I love seeing Dominio Patterson find the end zone, even if it's just a 2-point conversion.
So 14-3 is your score after Dominio Patterson found the end zone for the second time this year, first time on a 2-point conversion.
And I do want to point out that Deuce Williams now has 19 touchdowns on the year overall. I believe that's, 12 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, 12 rushing.
12 rushing touchdowns.
My goodness.
19, including a passing touchdown just last week.
Yep.
I did not get to see that. But I wish I did.
You know, from my conversation with Coach Up, it was kind of a broken play, but that's the plan B. If you can't run it in yourself, and he said that Deuce could have, but he had a wide open Lennox Campos who just leaked out because the defense just forgot, there's another eligible man, so he just was able to show off the accuracy and get that there. It's going to be more returning here, and he's going to lose the football. The ball's out. Who's got it?
I don't think
Beebe,
Robinson pulled it out.
No, I don't think so. It was a hard punch out. There really wasn't any Senator in the area whenever that ball went flying, but the Badgers will have the football around the 36-yard line.
I mean, that thing probably went 5 or 6 yards to the left.
Yeah, frankly, it helped them.
Yeah. I think if that's punched directly down, I think Robinson probably ends up with that ball. But
yeah.
Beebe honestly lucked out on that one.
McCormick in the offense. Let's see what they can draw up here. We've seen a lot of Curtis Goodrich runs. None of them have resulted in a UAMS first down. We'll see if that changes. 3 receivers on the near side. Man in motion. We've seen this formation already, but McCormick trying to take off himself. The defense read it perfectly, and that was a loss of 1.
I'm not sure if that was a designed play from McCormick, but to be honest, even if it was a quarterback option, I'm not sure there was any option anywhere to go for either him or Goodrich. That far side was very stuffed with white jerseys.
Interesting formation here. Man in motion, that's Goodrich. He goes to the left of his quarterback. It's going to be a handoff to Goodrich. He's got a little bit of room to run. Gets maybe 5 or 6 yards on that carry. And we'll bring it up about to the 42-yard line. 2:25 left to play in the first quarter. McCormick back to the sideline getting the play call. It's 3rd and 5. It'll actually be at the 41-yard line of the Badgers. 3 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. Goodrich goes in motion. McCormick, he's going to take off. Nowhere to go. Big loss for Beebe. And that will bring up 4th and long.
And he actually never even went down. I think he was in the air the entire time on his feet.
Well, McCormick coming into this game averaged about 4 yards a rush, but 182 rushing yards, second on the team behind Curtis Goodrich's 919. So you got to respect his ability to run the football.
I see.
And Lewis, he was taking his time there. It's a wobbly punt. It definitely, we will not get a return. So if that's what they wanted, that's exactly what they get. No return on the play, and the ball is down around the 17-yard line.
I'm infatuated with these 7 Brew blinking cups. What is going on here?
Oh, I see those.
You see what I'm saying?
Cool.
Why are they blinking? Is that a new thing?
I don't know.
What's your go-to at 7 Brew?
Whatever my fiance tells me.
There you go. That's you know what? That's the right.
I do not go to. I don't go to 7 Brew.
Really?
No, I'm not a coffee drinker.
Yeah, but not an energy drinker either.
Not really.
Okay, that's fair.
I just drink water.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I need to get into that.
And chocolate milk. Love me some chocolate milk.
Makes your bones strong.
Uh-huh. 2 receivers either side. Man in motion is Brown. Running back is Williams. It's going to be a pass outside. Makes a man miss. It's going to be Frampton. And he will be pulled down, but not before picking up about 6 yards on that play. It will bring up 2nd. We'll see where they mark him down. Maybe 2nd and 4. But that was a great run.
I was about to say, I can't believe Frampton made enough room for himself to be able to even get positive yards on that. It was a very good read by the BB defense, but, I mean, Hakeem Frampton just finds a way.
Frampton on the near side now, along with Braylon Brown. Warrior Benson on that far side. 2nd and 4. Simpson outside. Warrior Benson. Oh, he's got enough. He's dancing around, but he's got plenty for the UAMS first down.
And it looks like on some of these fake handoffs to Deuce Williams, it's making the BB defense and specifically the DBs kind of bite, thinking, okay, Deuce Williams is going to try and do something here. And so it just gives the wide receivers for Robinson just enough room to be able to gain some positive yardage.
Two receivers near side. Actually, we got a wildcat formation here. Didn't even recognize it. Jackson Redmond is actually lined up at running back to the left of Deuce Williams here on 1st and 10. Deuce will have it. Deuce following his blockers. Oh, big loss, though. Big time tackle by DeMarco Moore. Plays both receiver and corner for the Badgers.
You don't see too many tackles for loss on Deuce Williams. He normally can find his way past the line of scrimmage. That's a very, very good tackle.
I would say really the only game we've seen Deuce kind of go backwards is I think it was against Pulaski Academy. He had 3 touchdowns, but he did not have his best rushing performance in that ball game. And, of course, since then he's just had miraculous games. Even this one's looking like another one of his masterful running performances, and Deuce will get it this time. Oh, it's going to be big-time positive yards. He stays in bounds. He goes out of bounds on his own terms, but not before picking up a UAMS first down.
Man, Deuce Williams, I mean, he makes things look really, really easy. His body was contorted to try and stay in bounds, and he's gained an extra 2 or 3 yards there.
Senators bring in an extra receiver. It's Petty. He's on the near side. Again, a handoff to Deuce Williams. Get some pretty good yards out of that one, maybe 5 or 6 on that first down carry. And the quarter will tick to a close. So your Senators with the 14-3 lead over the hometown Beebe Badgers. And they're setting their drive up, their first drive of the second quarter, off with a good start. We'll be back in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. More Senator football on the Robinson Sports Network.
PCSSD is a family-like environment. There's always smiling faces. There's greeting in the morning, in the afternoon. They get a lot of involvement, not just parent involvement, student involvement, staff involvement, and I love all of that. I chose PCSSD because I was zoned here, but what made me stay was the support that we receive as a family.
And the best part about the day is my son come home with a smile on his face, that he enjoyed school and excelled in the classroom. It's real big to our family.
And welcome back for the second quarter of action here on the Robinson Sports Network. Your Senators with the early almost two touchdown lead over the Beebe Badgers. It's 14-3. We're about ready for the second quarter of action. Simpson. Oh, he's looking to go deep ball down the field, and it's going to be intercepted, but it will be wiped off the board as he was looking for Frampton, but one of the DBs, I think, tripped him or something. And so that will be called back.
And it was obvious that Reese Simpson was throwing not just to Hakeem Frampton. He was trying to throw on the route. And I think Hakeem Frampton got tripped up a little bit and wasn't able to continue the route, which by definition is a pass interference.
And the Senators will get some big-time yards right here. And the automatic first down. It will go to the 37-yard line of the Badgers. So they're getting pretty close to that red zone.
Which they have been so good at on both sides of the ball, if you really think about it.
Yeah, red zone defense has been great. I mean, I know they gave up the field goal, but it could have been a touchdown earlier in this game. Handoff again to Deuce Williams. Deuce, big burst of speed up ahead for about an 8 or 9 yard pickup.
Man, that really does help.
It does. Yeah, we opened up our door here, and it's definitely a lot cooler. They actually have AC in the hallway. I didn't think that, we were at the point of the year when I'd stop sweating.
Yeah.
I thought that's what would happen. Obviously, it's not the case. Is that a train?
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
Front end.
Yeah. Deuce, and actually that tackle sent him flying, and that's definitely going to be a UAMS first down. And you can't see it on your screen. We could barely see it ourselves, but the train tracks back up to the, I don't know if this is east or west. I don't know. But to the right side of, or the right end zone. Wait, the sunset.
I believe in you. You want to pull up a compass?
No, I got it. I got it. Hold on. I'll figure it out after this play. Two receivers either side in shotgun formation. Simpson looking to throw. Easy out to Petty. Let's see where they mark him down. I think he's going to be just about a yard or two short of the first down, but that will bring up second, and they're saying 2nd and 1. And it's really 2nd and 2. Shotgun formation again. No safety help. Todd and Frampton on the near side. Warrior Benson and Petty on that far side. Simpson. He's running. He's under a lot of pressure. What's he going to do with it? It's going to be caught by Braylon Brown, actually. And he is down at the 9-yard line. What a throw. And we've talked a lot about how Simpson has definitely improved with his confidence. Is definitely a lot higher than it was earlier in the year. I don't think he could have made that throw 5 weeks ago.
No, I really don't think so either. That was on the move, under a lot of pressure, at least 4 red jerseys chasing him, and he's able to find Braylon Brown, who gets an easy first down.
We saw this formation during the 2-point attempt, and the ball will go to Deuce Williams this time, and they're not going to catch him. Another 3-touchdown game from Kevin Deuce Williams. Another score for your Senators.
And that is 20 touchdowns overall on the year. We are, what is this, game 6?
Yeah,
or game 7. This is game
7
of the year. He has 20 touchdowns. That is absolutely unbelievable. That's 13 rushing touchdowns as well.
William Tate to attempt the first Community Bank extra point attempt. Try to make this 21-3. Of course, he missed the opening extra point attempt, but that was primarily because they had to rush after a late Senator on the field. The snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is good for that first Community Bank extra point.
And you're not going to see William Tate miss too many extra points. As you said, it was a very rushed, trying to figure out. I think we were missing a player on the field at the time, so trying to rush to get it snapped. Ball can't be held very well. And even then, it was pretty close. It was a doink.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was. And now just his second PAT miss this year. He is now 33 of 35 on extra point attempts. Well, while we have a break in the action, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Here at First Community Bank, we believe that investing in our communities provides us all with a brighter future, and it's something we've been doing since we were founded in 1997. We're proud to support the Senators in everything they do, not just because they're great athletes, but because they represent what makes communities so special. People coming together to work hard and make something amazing happen. When you bank local, everyone wins. Go Senators! First Community Bank, where community comes first. 10 minutes left to play in this first half as Tate will boom this one. It will be Moore that receives it here. He's got a couple blockers. He fumbled on the last kickoff return. Holds on to it there, but gets up around to the 30-yard line.
I believe that's Josh Gillette that got pancaked by 2 different players on the Badgers side. I saw it at the very, very end. I think it was Gillette. I apologize if it was not, but whoever it was, pancaked by 2 large Beebe players. I don't know if I would want to be on the bottom side of a double pancake.
No, definitely not, and especially not on this big Badger team. So 1st and 10 actually from the 29-yard line of the Badgers. Goodrich still the running back. He is yet to leave the field so far. 3 receivers on the near side. Moore and Johnson, 2 of them. It's going to be handoff to Goodrich, though, and he's going to break away for a few extra yards. It's going to be probably his best pickup of the evening as of now. Let's see where they officially mark him. He'll probably be down around the 34. They'll give him couple extra yards, a 37-yard line. So it will be a 7-yard pickup, 2nd and 3 with 9:30 to play in the first half.
I believe that is his best pickup so far of the game, which is saying a lot because this kid has been unbelievable this year.
I mean, he's been averaging 6 yards a carry so far, just shy of 1,000 rushing yards this year. Now he goes in motion, reverses back, and lines up to the left of his quarterback. He'll get, actually it was not, and it's going to be Moore on the outside. Moore is brought down by Deuce Williams. That play finished off, and that will be a penalty on the Senators. They're going to give it to Damon Sally for that late hit out of bounds. So Beebe gets a lot of yards there after that personal foul.
And if you're Damon Sally, it's just an unfortunate. I mean, I think he was just in motion, and it was a late hit. I mean, that's a great call. I think he was just in motion, couldn't stop himself. That happens.
Three receivers on that far side now. Tight end in motion. McCormick throws to the outside. Makes one man miss. Cameron Johnson stays up long enough to bring it to third down. Third and, well.
That would be second down.
It will be. Well, okay. The chain gang definitely changes their downs pretty quickly. So it will be 2nd and 5 with 8:37 to play. McCormick steps up. He's got a lot of room to run. Oh, and a big hit. Sandwiched by two different Senators, Campos and Deuce Williams on that hit. And actually, Campos got the worst of it. He's down, and they're going to have to take a look at him.
I'm honestly surprised McCormick didn't go down earlier. You see a lot of quarterbacks slide on that.
Yeah, no, there was no slide right there, so he took the hit hard, and he popped right back up. But Campos was really the one that laid the most of that hit. He might have actually been collided with Deuce Williams, not really sure. We see that from time to time on sandwich tackles, is just two of the defenders just end up hitting them each other. But he's back up off the field. I'm sure he probably had the breath knocked out of him.
Yeah.
So he's back up. That's good to see. He'll have to take a play off, though. But we'll be 1st and 10 for the Badgers just inside the 30-yard line of the Senators. So Matthew Mocha will come in off the edge on the right side. It's, of course, Caleb Smith on that left side. Mocha's played pretty well, but has played sparingly this season. Pretty athletic defensive end. Would love to see him make some big plays here. It's 5 tackles, forced fumble. So far, McCormick flip outside to the running back, and Goodrich somehow breaks past him, and flags flying everywhere. Tank Reese lost his helmet. There was a flag before the play ended in the backfield. So the official is going to have a conversation. I almost want to say he motioned maybe a hold. It will be face mask on the defense. Okay. So the Badgers will get some more free yards right there. So they're rolling on this drive. Now they're into the red zone. McCormick and the squad line up and around the 13, maybe 12.5-yard line.
And the blocking on this drive from Beebe has actually been exemplary.
Yeah,
that's not the word.
Exemplary.
Exemplary, thank you. That I didn't say it right again.
Goodrich spins off one tackle. Is it enough for a UAMS first down? We will see. I think he'll be just short of the first down. Senators bring in some more size, bringing in Trayson King to beef up that front four. It will be 2nd and short, 2nd and 1, maybe even 2nd and inches from the 4-yard line. Goodrich remains the running back. He'll get the handoff, and he finds the seam on the outside and gets into the end zone for his 10th touchdown of the season.
And that was just a very, very good drive by Beebe there. Again, the blocking on that drive was very, very good. It allowed Goodrich to find a couple openings and give himself a little extra. Weird formation.
Yeah, interesting formation on the 2-point or possibly just, it will be a 2-point attempt. And there's going to be a timeout by the Senators. Had to get their defense set after that odd formation. I'm curious if Beebe goes back to it after the timeout. But while we have a break, let's hear from one of our sponsors. When orthopedic injuries happen, get expert care now. At UAMS Health Ortho Now, we provide fast, convenient care for all of your orthopedic needs, from sports injuries to joint pain and beyond. No appointment is needed. Walk in for immediate care, get on-site x-rays, and see the best in all of orthopedic care, all in one place. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon, conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. Don't wait in pain. Walk in today. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674. So the Badgers back out onto Jim Wooten Field.
And again, a different setup, but a weird setup.
Yeah, interesting formation on the two-point attempt. All the offensive linemen are spread out. McCormick is the quarterback, and they're going to line up. Yep, of course, Andy Rodriguez was in. He's their kicker. Now he will line up for the First Community Bank field goal attempt. And there's going to be a flag on the play. It's going to be on the Badgers for a legal procedure. We'll back them up 5 yards. So now Rodriguez has to kick this extra point attempt a little bit further out. My bad. I said field goal attempt previously. But McCormick, the holder for the Badgers. Rodriguez will have to kick from the 15-yard line. Hold is up, it's good, and the kick is good for the First Community Bank extra point attempt. And a singular firework goes up into the sky as the Badgers trim the lead to 11 with 7:04 left to play in the first half.
And it was just a very well put together drive by Beebe there. And, I mean, a lot of it came from that Curtis Goodrich, or a few of those Curtis Goodrich runs. And I'm very curious. The Badgers have a lot of different special teams lineups that look – I don't want to call them odd because there's obviously maybe a method to the madness a little bit, but something I've personally not seen this year so far, and they have it for what feels like every special teams lineup.
Yep. So another interesting formation on the kickoff against Whitehall in their October 3rd matchup. They were actually able to recover the onside kick, and there was a flag immediately. Let's see who it's on. I think it'll be on the Badgers. There will be, so they have to back it up a little bit further here. Now they're kicking from the 35-yard line.
I believe it was offsides. Yep.
It was Jace Ruiz, the junior, that kicked that last kick. But he's there with Luke Lewis and Andy Rodriguez. It will be Lewis, and that kick will not go far enough. He needed it to go 10 yards to recover the onside attempt. Went, 6 yards? So they'll get backed up another 5 yards. Let's see if they try to go for another onside kick. I would say just forget it. If you don't recover it, the Senators have it inside the 50. And this is not a Senator team. You want to give the ball. You don't want to give them really good field possession, especially with 7 minutes to play in the first half. We'll see who kicks it this time. Is it Rodriguez? No, it's going to be Lewis again. It's going to be another onside kick attempt. And the Senators have it. Like I said, you give the Senators the football inside the 40. And Reese Simpson and company probably licking their lips at this opportunity. That was Lennox Campos recovering that onside kick. And Will, what do you think about that? What do you think about that?
I like the idea of an onside kick in general.
Well, you say that because we're Senator fans. It gave us the football.
No, here's why I like the idea of an onside kick in that situation.
Yeah.
However, when it turns into two different penalties back to back, you get sent back 10 yards on your original. Again, you talked about it. You don't want to give the Senators any extra room or any extra yardage. And when you do it 2 times in a row, as Deuce Williams gets the handoff, gets almost stuffed and somehow gets a few more. But when you do it twice, fail it twice, the receiving team knows what's coming at that point. Lennox Campos was able to fall on that long before any Badger was in any area to be able to pick that ball up. So, in general, I like the idea, but once you fail it once or twice, you need, to me personally, you need to move on and try and back the Senators up into their own territory.
That was actually Bryce Young Cunningham on the 2-yard carry on first down.
Apologies.
Now Simpson looks to throw. That got batted into the air, goes backwards, but falls incomplete. It will be 3rd and 8.
And I think he saw Trey Petty open on this close side.
Yeah, one of the Badgers, I believe it may have been Keandre Brooks, got his paws on that football. Two receivers on either side in shotgun formation. Cunningham remains the running back. 3rd and long, as there's going to be a penalty on the Senators here. So they'll get backed up 5 yards. They go to the 43-yard line now. So some adversity here for the Senator offense, especially with no Deuce Williams on the field. Cunningham is the running back. Shotgun formation. He looks back to the sideline. He's got Warrior Benson and Petty on that left side. He's got Grimes and Frampton on the right side. He's got time to throw, and it's picked off. Picked off by Cameron Johnson. He was looking for Warrior Benson. Johnson's got a lot of room to run here, and he will be tackled out of bounds around the 35-yard line.
And I think if you're Reese Simpson, you need to get that ball higher in the air.
Oh, we do have a flag on the field. Actually, 2 flags on the field. It could have been on the kickoff return. The interception return. We'll see, though. I didn't see the penalty. I did not see the flags until after the play was over. The officials are having a meeting around the 35-yard line. Head official, let's see what he says. It's going to be holding. Oh, it will be on the defense. It'll be a block in the back against the return team.
So all of those extra yards you gained are nulled.
No, yep.
Pretty close to it, at least.
Yeah, you're backed up pretty far here. Or correction. Does the Senator... No. Is the Senator offense still on the field? I don't know. Both the players play both ways. Okay, no, the Badgers do have the football, so they still got the interception. Just Simpson's 5th interception of the season. But they do have the football at the 27-yard line. Definitely a lot further back than what they anticipated. They were almost 50 yards further down the field. Four receivers on the near side. It's going to be handoff to Goodrich, and he's going to get a few yards here, but tackled out of bounds by Campos.
And he just kind of carried Campos with him all the way out of bounds.
And, of course, Goodrich We've seen him have a couple of good runs, but he's a big body running back. He is tough to bring down. 5'9", 215, had over 1,100 rushing yards last year, 17 touchdowns. Of course, he's getting closer and closer to 1,000 rushing yards on the year in just 7 games, not even through full 7 games. So he's had another remarkable season. Handoff again to Goodrich. He's following his blocker. He's following Osborne, and he'll fight for a couple extra yards. He gets maybe 3 or 4 on the carry.
And I think you're probably going to see a McCormick-led play here. When I say that, I mean the past few have been a Goodrich-led play.
Yeah.
And they're doing a rush offense here, too.
Yep. McCormick is going to be outside. It's Johnson, and he'll have the UAMS first down before being thrown out of bounds by Tank Reese. So the Badgers once again are rolling. They had a very successful offensive drive. Their last possession, of course, that ended up being a touchdown. And now off the interception, they have some good momentum with 5:34 to play in the half. 3 receivers, that far side. Man in motion. And we're going to have flags. It will be on the offense.
A lot of early movement in a lot of these plays. Lots of offsides, also false starts on both sides. Mm-hmm. A little jumpy, maybe a little anxious ahead of each play. I'm a little curious as well. I want to go back to the Senators' most recent offensive drive. I'm a little curious why Deuce Williams wasn't on the field at all. He's back on the field for defense here.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, Cunningham's a very good running back, but Deuce Williams is obviously a superstar, and he just makes defenses think things, I don't know, he's just a totally different animal, as Johnson will pick up about 4 yards on that catch and run. But you're right. I mean, it was Cunningham for all 3 of those downs, and it was more of a passing drive right there. Of course, it ended up being an interception, as it looked like he was looking for, I think, either Petty or Warrior Benson on that far side. I will say that the block in the back on the interception return saved the Senators, because they'd probably at this moment be in the red zone of Robinson. 3 receivers near side, and again, another flag, another penalty on Beebe. The offense moving early once again, so they're going to have to back it up 5 yards back to where they were to just a moment ago.
And then, again, it just feels like, and both teams are doing the same thing. It's very, very odd. Very, anxious, jumpy, maybe wired a little bit, trying to figure out, I've never seen anything like this with as many in, a row as that's happening. It's a little curious.
And is there another penalty? What's going on? We have another stoppage in play.
Now, I'm not sure that there was a flag in the last one because they're at the same spot.
I didn't see a flag thrown. Well, Kalen Norwood for Robinson's leaving the field. I don't know what the situation is there. Aaron Freeman, the rising sophomore, comes onto the field now. Not really sure what that situation was about. No penalty was called, and actually no penalty was called previously. My mistake. Just not sure what the stoppage in play has been about. As McCormick's going to try to run here, he's going to get back up. It's sacked by Jackson Redmond. Big loss for the Badgers.
And, I mean, my goodness, that is something that I mean, when Jackson Redmond transferred to Robinson from PA, that's what you wanted him for. You wanted him for his hunting skills, is what you can kind of consider them. He led the state in sacks last year, solo sacks last year. I believe it was 19?
It was a lot.
It was a lot. I cannot remember the exact number.
Let's see. Let me fact check you here.
Might have been 16?
16.
There we go. See, I flipped
But 34 tackles for loss. I mean, whew. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, this is a guy that he's been playing more your traditional inside linebacker. He hasn't really been getting into the backfield much, but shows you right there he certainly can. And Northwest Missouri State, who's committed to, is going to love that stuff. It's McCormick, a jump pass here. Gets it to Miller, and he's blown up by the Senators. Campos Todd, two of the Senators making that stop right there. And that will bring out the punt unit as Luke Lewis, the punter, look to send this one off as Frampton and Williams will be back to return.
And those penalties just end up killing any Badgers' momentum.
And the stoppage, stoppage. I mean, there was only maybe 2 penalties on that drive, but there were 2 separate stoppages in play. Still don't know what it was about. Lewis, that was almost close to being blocked right there. And the Senators just going to let this one fall to it's going to get a little bit of a nice roll about to the 12-yard line. So the Senator offense has a long way to go with 3:26 left to play in the first half. While we have a second, let's hear from one of our sponsors. When you bank local, everyone wins. That's why we're proud to support the Senators and our community. At First Community Bank, we're all about helping our neighbors thrive. We know that when you bank local, your money stays right here in town, which means businesses can thrive and people can get things done. But that doesn't mean it has to stop there. We want to help make sure the Senators are thriving too. And the best way by doing that is supporting them with your time and money. So go out there and show your pride for the Senators by wearing their T-shirt and cheering them on at every game this season. Go Senators! First Community Bank, where community comes first. Deuce Williams back out there in the backfield now. He'll get the handoff here. Deuce, and automatically a big pickup here on the first down carry. That's plenty for a UAMS first down. And right there, no disrespect to any of the talented running backs, the talented playmakers for this Robinson Senator football team, but
that's why you have Deuce Williams.
Yeah, I mean, man.
If he isn't tackled from behind, I think he has open grass all the way.
Absolutely. He had a lot of room to work with, and the Badgers, of course, every time number 2 is on the field, all 11 eyes are on him as there is a timeout now by Beebe. So we're going to, of course, stay right here, but let's hear from another one of our sponsors. When orthopedic injuries happen, get expert care now. At UAMS Health Ortho Now, we provide fast, convenient care for all of your orthopedic needs, from sports injuries to joint pain and beyond. No appointment is needed. Walk in for immediate care. Get on-site x-rays and see the best in orthopedic care, all in one place. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. Conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. Don't wait in pain. Walk in today. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674. And unfortunately, they're closed right now. They have been closed for the last 3 minutes, but of course you can go in tomorrow morning. .308 left to play in the second quarter. Frampton. And actually, it looks like Deuce Williams is lined up at running back. We have Jackson Redmond in the backfield now. Deuce joins him, reverses sides, and he'll get maybe 2 hard-fought yards right there. That will bring up second down. Actually, they'll give him 3 yards right there.
You can kind of see the idea behind Robinson, trying to add a little bit of motion to the plays in order to maybe try and give Deuce a little bit extra room. But I talked about it a little bit. This offensive line is very good at giving Deuce holes, and so I feel like removing that motion gives the offensive line more opportunity.
2 receivers on the near side. One on the far side. Williams, the running back. Simpson looking to throw, pumps. He's going to get it, and it's going to be picked off. Picked off again by Beebe, and he has him down. Simpson was hit as he threw. Underthrew his receiver. He was looking for Warrior Benson, and now the Badgers have the football around the 25-yard line. Excellent field position with 2:16 left to play in the half.
And I think the Senators really needed to score there.
Oh, wait, do we have another? I'm hearing we have a flag on the field.
Said no penalties.
Oh, no penalty. Okay, my mistake. We can hear the so the BB commentators and PA guys next door, so McCormick and the offense set up to go here. 1st and 10 from the 24. Knocking on the door of the red zone of the Senators. 2:16 left to play in the half. Badgers have already scored once this quarter, and now the Senators will take the timeout here. Well, of course, we'll stay right here, but Will, what do you hope to see from the Senator defense? I mean, obviously you want to stop, but I'd have to say after 2 back-to-back turnovers on offense, I'd love to see a turnover here on defense.
You would hope so, but I think it's a little more difficult because, I mean, it's kind of a well-known fact. Forcing a fumble is harder than it is to get an interception. And in this case, McCormick, I don't think, is throwing enough long balls in order for the Robinson defense to have an opportunity at an interception. It's more screen passes and handoffs to Goodrich most of these plays. So I think it's going to be a little difficult to do so. But we saw a very good defensive possession last go around, so you hope for at least that sort of success. But this is a very good field position for the Badgers here.
And if you're Beebe, you hope you don't have any more penalties on this drive. Yeah. Penalties have definitely hurt them in this game. So we'll see, and you're right. I mean, turnovers, especially when Goodrich has the football, they don't happen much. One receiver on that left side, it's Moore. He's got single coverage, but everybody's expecting a run here, and that's what it'll be. Goodrich met immediately and brought down by multiple Senators. Todd, Patterson, probably Campos. He's had an outstanding game so far in to make the stop.
And Patterson gave that was the one to start that pull down, was able to stop the momentum that Goodrich might have had going into that, and pulls him back and gives his teammates an opportunity to pull him down with him.
So there's no gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Time is running down. It's at 1:33. Of course, Andy Rodriguez, a solid kicker. He can hit from about the 40-yard range. As Goodrich, he sheds a couple tackles. A flag goes out on the field. I believe that was Tank Reese lost his helmet for the 2nd time tonight, and it will be about a pickup of about 5 yards. If it stands, we'll see what the call is. It was thrown in the secondary. Face mask again on the defense, so a backbreaker. After back-to-back good defensive possessions, or good defensive plays, rather, and this hurts.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. It's silly mistakes, and you can't afford to do that with as much momentum as this Badgers offense has. Now, it is a very good thing that the Senators have this ball going into the second half, but it's a dangerous time for this Robinson defense.
I was about to say Curtis Goodrich left the field for a short period of time, and now he's back on the field. He has yet to leave the field on offense, and now he's lined up at Wildcat quarterback, and he'll get a few yards. He's fighting for more, but he's finally brought down. Of course, it's now 2nd and goal from around the 5-yard line. Another nice hard run by the senior running back. He heads to the sideline. Of course, he's playing quarterback right now. He has thrown one pass this year. It led to a touchdown. So you got to keep that in mind as 30 seconds is winding down, but he'll likely just try to run it into the end zone here on 2nd and goal. Goodrich again, met immediately and brought down. You'd think that at some point the Badgers would burn a timeout here, and then now they will. So the Badgers, one timeout remaining. We'll stay right here with 15 seconds left to play in the first half. This has been a very productive quarter for Beebe.
It very much has been, and I think it's coming down to this blocking. A lot of this blocking has been very good, but it's also come down to the Senators not being able to pull Goodrich down. And to be fair, I think it's a very difficult task to ask of, to tackle Goodrich alone. He's a big body that is very difficult to bring down, especially if you are smaller. So it's been a bit of a struggle, but this Badgers offense is cooking with grease right now.
Will be 3rd and goal from, I'd say, the 3-yard line. Ty McCormick still on the sideline. It's Curtis Goodrich, the running back. In that Wildcat formation, more than likely. Of course, like I said, he's thrown one pass this year. It was a 1-yard pass, but it was a 1-yard touchdown pass. So he can throw the football a little bit. But, of course, he'll likely get the football and run it in here. And there's a lot of movement on Beebe's side. And they're going to have to back it up a little bit.
And I think that was a miscommunication between the center and Goodrich. I think on that first clap, yep, that's exactly what it is. Goodrich is very frustrated. I think he was supposed to snap it on that first clap.
And they'll have to back it up. We'll see if McCormick comes back out on the field. It looks like they will. You know, as great as Goodrich is, he's not a quarterback.
No.
So there's always a little bit of miscommunication, especially on plays like that between your quarterback, your non-quarterback and your center. But McCormick comes back out onto the field. It's 3rd down. We could see a passing play here.
Goodrich is not on the. He is. He's lined up on this left side.
And it will be a passing play. It will be a screen pass to Johnson, who's met immediately and thrown down by 4 Senators. Huge stop. They have yet to call a timeout. They have one more to burn. Will they let the quarter? Okay, they're going to let the clock go all the way down to 2 seconds. It will bring up 4th down, and I imagine they will bring out Andy Rodriguez after Johnson. He's hurting after that big hit, but man, that play was blown up immediately.
And I have to say, I think it was blown up immediately because the exact same play was run earlier in this quarter. You line up 4 in kind of a diamond formation on this close side and just do a screen pass, and whoever is in the backside will catch that, and then he has 3 blockers to push him through. But if you run that same play that close to the end zone, there's going to be help. There's going to be able to have help defense come up, get an easy tackle, and again, that was blown up very quick by multiple Senators.
2 seconds remaining in the first half. Andy Rodriguez, I did see him head out onto the field, so I imagine he will kick this First Community Bank field goal attempt. That's absolutely right. So Rodriguez is out there. McCormick's still out there, the quarterback, but he does hold on special teams. Rodriguez has already hit one in the first quarter.
I think you got to be careful of a fake here. It would not surprise me.
Yeah, you do. And formation. Oh, you're right. It's going to be an interesting formation. Rodriguez still lined up, almost as a quarterback. And the Senators will burn, I believe, their last time out here.
Man, I'm telling you, the special teams has so many different lineups.
Of course, Cody Sparks is the head coach of the Badgers, his first season as the Beebe head coach. Of course, he's been their assistant the last 4 years. Of course, Beebe's on their third coach in 3 years. After Justin Bigham left the Badgers after helping them reach 6 wins for the first time since 2022, and actually the playoffs for the first time in a while. But now he's at Cabot as an assistant coach. All right, Rodriguez lines that back up at kicker. We'll see what he does here. Yeah, I didn't think so. So McCormick will snap the ball. Rodriguez lined up. Let's see what this play call is. It's going to go to the outside. They're going to get in for the touchdown as the clock runs down at the end of the first half. So Beebe rides a lot of momentum. They're almost ready to go to the locker room. Are they going to actually kick an extra point here? We don't know. It's going to be Rodriguez back there. Let's see if he lines up. Yep, he will line up for the First Community Bank extra point attempt. We'll see if he can knock it down here or if they're going to try some more trickery. Snap, hold, good, kick, up and good. So 21-17 is your score. Your Senators still have the 4-point advantage, but the Badgers have one heck of momentum as they head into the locker room. We'll see what the Senators can draw up here in the second half. Don't go anywhere. We have 2 more quarters of Senator football right here on the Robinson Sports Network.
I'm Dr. Lowry Barnes. When it comes to orthopedic care, there's no place like the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. We built this hospital just for you, with state-of-the-art surgical suites, advanced technology, and the state's largest group of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons. It's the best place in Arkansas to get you moving again. And if you need urgent orthopedic care, UAMS Ortho Now is right here for you at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, where motion lives and service leads.
It's not just a house, it's a home, and it's part of the neighborhood and of course part of the community. And you want to build stuff that they'll take pride in.
Well, that's where they're making their memories.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where they're raising their families.
Without the bank getting us to that next step, we can't do it.
It's nice to be able to call someone at the bank and say, hey, you've worked with us for all these years. This is what we're thinking about doing. Can we pull the trigger on this today? Oh, my stars. It is just so much easier to bank with First Community.
Many people will experience orthopedic or spine issues in their lifetime, and the pain that goes along with that can make you feel, well, like a shadow of yourself. At the new Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, we're dedicated to providing Arkansans with a brighter future they deserve.
Now, thanks to UAMS Health, I am dancing through life.
Choose UAMS Health for a better state of health.
And welcome back to the Robinson Sports Network, presented by UAMS Health and by First Community Bank. This has been quite the game so far. If you're just now joining us, you're joining us at the right time. Your Senators have just a 4-point advantage over the Beebe Badgers. We have not had a game like this in a long time, and keep an eye. The Badgers will be kicking off here, but the threat to kick an onside kick is definitely alive. Rodriguez, no, will be him, and who's got it? I think the Senators might have it.
I think that was Josiah Warrior Benson.
Yep, it was bobbled initially. Yep, he did pick it up. So the Senators have the football to begin the second half and have excellent field position around the 47-yard line. Let's see, of course, the second quarter was a rough one for the Senators. They allow 14 points and then give up 2 turnovers. Both were interceptions on back-to-back drives. So we will see if the Senators can clean up their act right here. Reese Simpson remains the quarterback. Deuce Williams, I would expect him to have a big half right here. He's lined up as the tailback. Josiah Warrior Benson, the near side receiver, Frampton, and I believe that may be Grimes, if not Braylon Brown, as the 2 receivers on the far side. Man in motion, it's Frampton. And there's a flag immediately. So off to a not great start for the quarter for the Senators. We'll see. Coach Updegrove went all the way out to the numbers. Well, do we actually have a penalty?
The ball.
There was a flag on the field, and then I guess it got taken off. That's the problem with not having intercom by the officials. So the ball, it's still 1st and 10. Same formation, Frampton in motion. Hand off to Deuce Williams. He's going to break ahead for a few yards. Oh, he broke those tackles. Deuce Williams, there's a flag on the field. He got dragged down by Cameron Johnson. We'll see what the call is, but as it stands, that's a big pickup. Almost I'd say 17-yard pickup. Oh, no, dang it. There's a holding on the offense. Again, not a great start to the third quarter for Robinson. They'll get backed up, so Beebe
gets a break there.
Yeah, they sure did.
And I'm going to be honest, Chris, I think this is the most important offensive drive of the game for Robinson.
Absolutely. It establishes your momentum for the rest of the drive. And now they do.
I believe it's just coming from where the holding was took place.
Yeah, so it's going to be 1st and 2. First and 1, rather. Short yardage here, but we'll see. Deuce Williams is going to get the handoff. He's patient. He's waiting for a hold to form. And he got a lot of yards. Oh, he's still not down. He will not go down.
I thought he went down long before that.
I did too, but he was able to pick up an extra 3 or 4 yards on that play. So that is a true UAMS first down, the first one we've had of the half. As it looks like Bryce Young Cunningham will come in for a play. Possibly more. We'll see what he can do. He's only had 1 carry for 2 yards so far this evening. Deuce Williams comes out. But Grimes and Frampton, the receivers on the right side, left side, that's Warrior Benson. Hand off to Cunningham. Cunningham breaks a tackle, and he's going to break another tackle. Solid run by the junior. Maybe a pickup of 5 right there. Deuce Williams comes right back in after that short breather. I imagine we'll see a lot of runs, especially in this quarter, as the Senators try to regain some offensive momentum after 2 interceptions in that second quarter, and really just kind of a stagnant offense for the most part. Deuce Williams, another handoff. He'll get the first down. He's got more. He spins off of him. Oh, my goodness. Deuce Williams. Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
And for the touchdown, Deuce Williams, fourth rushing touchdown of the game. Oh, my goodness. Well, you want to start a half off right. That's the way to do it right there.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, that's probably one of the best runs he's had of the year. And that's hard to say as well.
That's crazy.
So many yards after contact. And that's what you need. You need Deuce Williams to be more involved. We saw one drive where he didn't touch the field at all for an offensive drive.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what me and you talked about at halftime, is that we kind of expect Deuce Williams to be on the field way more on this offensive side in the second half.
So a 27-yard touchdown leads to a First Community Bank extra point attempt by Tate. Campos will hold. 10:20 left to play in the third quarter. Snap, hold, good, kick, good as well. 28-17 is your score as your Senators back on top with a double-digit lead for now. We'll see what Beebe can draw up here in just a moment, but while we have a second, let's hear from one of our sponsors. First Community Bank is proud to serve the Little Rock community. We offer personal service and expertise on a full range of financial services that meet your needs. For all of your banking needs, First Community Bank has you covered. And if you need help figuring out which product is best for your needs, our knowledgeable and friendly staff are ready to help find the best solution for your situation. First Community Bank, where community comes first. And Will, again, that was, after that drive didn't start off the best, after it was a little slow getting going, and then all it took was Deuce Williams to break away and get into the into the end zone for his fourth trip today.
Yeah, and I think I don't think that's the last time he'll touch the end zone tonight.
I don't think it will be either.
Turn into his highest scoring of the year.
Yeah.
It's kind of easy to predict that now.
Let's see what Tate does here. He's going to boom it. It's going to loft, and it will be Moore that takes it here. Moore, he's got a couple blockers, and he will go down around the 23-yard line after about a 20-yard return.
And I will say, as I said about the past offensive drive, I think this is probably the most important defensive drive.
Yep.
I was telling you at halftime that there is a very real thing in momentum in high school football. Momentum is very, very real because the energy just kind of shifts, because you have to think these are high school kids that thrive off of what good is happening on the field, not the bad. So you're going to see if Beebe can score here, you're going to see their energy shift more. And you can't, the Senators can't let that happen. I think this is probably the most important defensive possession we've had so far, and it might end up being the most important in the entire game.
Hand off to Goodrich. He's had a good game so far, and now picks up about 7 yards on that carry. Of course, Curtis Goodrich has already found the end zone. I think he's getting even closer to 1,000 rushing yards on the year. Came into the game with 919. Keeps getting closer now. Ty McCormick, the quarterback for the Panthers. Goodness, I can't get the mascot right tonight. Goodrich in the backfield. 3 receivers on that near side. Jaden Miller and DeMarco Moore, 2 of them. Hand off again to Goodrich, and he's met immediately. Big-time stop. Jackson Redmond headlining that group. Big Dominio Patterson, the Tulsa commit, another one.
Yeah, that Tulsa commit and Dominio Patterson has been amazing tonight, and that's not really a new thing. We don't talk about him much, but he does a lot of work on that defensive front.
Absolutely. Of course, he's a great left tackle as well, but coming into this game, he's performed well this season on the defensive side of the football. 27 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, a sack and a half, forced fumble, a blocked field goal as well, and a couple pass breakups. So pretty solid senior season in just his second year in the white and gold. McCormick looking to throw. He's under pressure. It's a line drive and incomplete. That will bring up 4th down, and will be 4th and 3.
I think they're
going to punt this football. You've seen how the Senators drove down the field on that last drive, especially when you gave them good field position inside the 50, and now you'd be, if you try to go for it, could be a turnover. So they're making the smart decision, and Luke Lewis, the star linebacker, also doubles as the punter, and he will look to send this one away. Not much pressure, but he does, and it's going to bounce in between Deuce and Frampton. And they're going to let it just bounce. Man, he is
very good.
He is getting those bounces. They're not high punts, but it will land right inside the 11-yard line. So the Senator offense had a productive drive to begin the third quarter, leading to a Deuce Williams rushing touchdown, his fourth of the evening. We'll see what else they can do here in just a second. I'm curious if they kind of start to throw the football. You and I talked about it in the half, trying to regain some momentum in the passing game. You get those passes out to the outside, screen passes. You hit up a guy like Frampton or Warrior Benson or Grimes to get them going a little bit themselves. But to, after back-to-back interceptions for a young quarterback like Reese Simpson, they need to kind of get his confidence back up to where it was to begin the ball game.
And I think if you're going to see any passes, it's going to be kind of these screen passes because these wideouts are very, very good at creating their own space. So you're probably going to see more of that, but that Deuce Williams handoff starts it.
Of course, and it's going to be a big pickup. It's a UAMS first down, and he's tackled out around the 35-yard line. So it is, what is that? That's almost that may be a 20-yard pickup, if not 19 yards. On that first down carry. No flags. We've seen a few already in this second half, so solid momentum to begin this possession.
Made it to the 36. I think that's a 26 because it was on the 10-yard line, correct?
Oh, it sure was.
So it should be a 26-yard pickup.
Yeah, okay, yeah, even more. Handoff again. It'll go to Cunningham. He's got a lot of room to run. He's got a UAMS first down, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. Another great run, this time by the backup running back.
And I'm really liking how much Coach Updergrove is trusting Bryson Cunningham.
Yeah.
You knew at some point he was going to break out. And, again, I think this is another reason why if there's going to be any passes, there's going to be more screens because this blocking has kind of found its momentum a little bit, and it's giving, in this case, Deuce Williams and Bryson Cunningham open room.
Cunningham gets tracked down. That time, I believe that was, let's see who that was on the stop. That was number 22, DeAndre Tremule, the senior defensive end.
And I do think we're going to see more Bryson Cunningham throughout this, probably this drive. You have to imagine that Coach Updergrove is kind of holding Deuce a little bit due to the amount of production he's had in this game so far. So you're trying to give him a little bit of a break, and because Bryson Cunningham is doing a lot for himself right now.
That will bring up third down, but it will be 3rd and 1 after he's picked up a lot of yards on this drive alone. Cunningham, of course, coming off a productive week against Whitehall, had his first varsity career rushing touchdown in the massive 72-0 win over the Bulldogs. And the Badgers, if it could not be any more obvious, it will be, and that will be a free first down for the Senators.
That's going to put, I believe that is Deuce back on the field.
Actually, it's going to be Trey Petty. So Trey Petty, he got some handoffs last week.
I think it's both. Deuce is still on the field. Oh,
yeah, no, that's
no, that is Trey Petty. I apologize.
Yeah,
I thought I saw Deuce run on the field.
Yeah, Trey Petty's gotten some snaps there running back this year. He's already got a few. Had a few last week. He's run the ball 5 times. He's going to get a 6 rushing attempt right here, and a really good running by the junior. But coming into this game, 5 rushes for 56 rushing yards. Already found the end zone once, so averaging about 13 yards a carry, and picked up about 5 yards on that play. 1 receiver either side. Campos and Redmond, the extra blockers. Of course, you always have to keep in mind they can run out and catch the football as well. Simpson's going to throw here. It's going to be easy pass to the outside. It's Braylon Brown. They're trying to get him more involved, and he's got enough for a UAMS first down.
Yeah, and there's going to be no more first downs on this drive. It's red zone or nothing. But Braylon Brown, that's his second very quick pass to Braylon Brown. Braylon Brown able to catch and gain a couple extra yards behind him on both of those catches.
Well, Braylon Brown's the guy they've been wanting to get him involved more this season. He came into this game, now 11 catches on the year, but 128 receiving yards, just one trip to the end zone. It's going to be a handoff this time to Petty. Petty bounces off one guy, mauls over another, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown, his second rushing touchdown of his junior campaign.
And 34 points on the board and only the second person to score. Deuce Williams has all other four. Trey Petty is the first one to get on the board, and that's a grown man. I actually tweeted this just a few weeks ago with Trey Petty. Yeah. Had a grown man receiving touchdown just a few weeks ago against, I believe, I cannot remember. I don't want to get it wrong. So
Jonesboro?
Yes, it was Jonesboro. Yep. I apologize. But again, grown man touchdown right there on the rushing touchdown. Runs through a couple players, and that is going to go up and through.
Yep, another First Community Bank extra point attempt is through the uprights. Well, this is already turning out to be an excellent second half for the Senators. Of course, they started out the first half in a similar fashion. Yes. They started out fast, and then, of course, Beebe was able to catch up just enough. So we'll see if they can keep this momentum in their favor. Right now, the crowd has been silenced. They were pretty loud heading into the locker room at the half. But not much cheer force so far for the Badgers. Of course, they punted on their last drive. It was a great punt, but a whole bunch of runs and just one pass. One passing play set up a big score for Trey Petty. And I think, Tank Reese, of course, was the second-string running back coming into this year. I know he had some injury concerns, and now they're really playing him just on the defensive side of the ball, where he's, of course, the strongest at. Bryson Cunningham has had a great quarter so far, but you got to realize that, Deuce Williams is your bell cow, but you have good quality backs, two good quality backs in Trey Petty and Bryson Cunningham, and I'd even go out on a limb and say Josh Jackson. The sophomore, he can go out and run the football a little bit as DeMarco Moore is going to get the return here. He got tripped up and fell to the turf immediately, but a big stop pushing him to the 15-yard lines of the Badgers. Not great field position to start out this drive with. 5:35 left to play in the third quarter. They have a long way to go to try to cut into this 18-point lead by the visiting Joe T. Robinson Senators. Of course, if you're just now joining us, Beebe was only down by 4 heading into the half after a big second quarter with 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, that is. And now the Senators have responded in a big way with 2 rushing touchdowns of their own here in the third quarter. And in just a few minutes, we'll have kind of an update of scores from around the Natural State from our network, as that's a big run will actually be Cameron Johnson. There is a Badger down on the field. We're going to have a brief stoppage in play, but what do you have for us, Will?
So across the network, I believe we have 5. We have 5 networks total, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
4 others.
Including us. So other 4, all teams except for one in the lead. We have 27-11 with Maumelle against Jacksonville. Maumelle is up 28-21 between Cabot and PA. PA is down by 7 there. 63-0 for Mills versus Riverview. That is a very good Mills offense going absolutely ballistic out there. And then 48-12 Sylvan Hills and West Memphis. And man, has Sylvan Hills had a resurgence in football, coming from 0-20 in 2 years. Over 2 years,
Man.
and now up towards the top of their conference.
What if they lost maybe just 1 or 2 games? I mean, they've
only lost 2,
Yeah.
I believe, right? 2? Yeah, they've
2,
lost 2.
And
so 4-2 on the year so far. Looking like going to be 5-2 after tonight against West Memphis. So Sylvan Hills, man, and that I believe Tyler Hampton.
Yeah, Tyler Hampton.
Starting quarterback for Sylvan Hills. Absolutely unbelievable kid out there.
Actually, we're mistaken. Just 1 loss, and it was
Okay.
a 3-point loss against Marion back on September 26th.
Yeah.
Of course, now we're all Sylvan Hills fans, but they had a big 1-point win against Maumelle to open up the year. Then they beat Valonia, who was in the 5A playoffs last year. Then shut out Russellville 50-0. Then beat Benton by 5 points early October. Then defeated El Dorado at El Dorado after that. So we're going to get the quarter started off here. It's actually going to be a player not named Curtis Goodrich getting the football and running for a first down. For the first time tonight, we've seen the senior primarily plays defensive end, but Madden Harbin, the 6'2", 220 senior.
And Curtis Goodrich did get hurt on that last play. He was
I didn't realize
the
he
hurt
was
player.
okay.
That's why I was doing that. But,
I see. I gotcha.
he does look like he is doing better now. He should be back in the game momentarily, I would imagine. Probably not on this play. I think he hurt his arm, I believe, is what he's holding.
Yeah, I see him on the sideline. He's around some of his coaches, and I know he's anxious to get back into the ball game. But Harbin, third leading rusher on the team coming into the game, and now he has stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Damon Sally, one of several Senators to make the stop, and Goodrich will come right back into the ball game. Harbin will come out.
Damon Sally has been very, very good this season.
He has
lots of good stops.
Of course, he's a transfer from Little Rock Southwest. He's had, like you said, a great season. 36 total tackles, 25 solo tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups, a sack. Of course, he had his best game against Lakeside in the 3rd game of the season. He had 10 tackles. And it's not even a guy that's really a starter, so he's playing really well. McCormick faking everybody out, and he's not going to get much right there. The Senators were able to catch up with him and stop him after maybe a 2-yard gain.
I think he had a better chance if he continued on the route he was trying to run. He kind of did a little bit of a hesitation and trying to cut back and take off to the left side, but it gave the Senators an opportunity to catch up. And I do want to update on that PA score. It's now 28-28.
Oh.
PA has responded.
With, a minute 50
with a
left
minute
to
50
play
in the third quarter.
Wow. That's a good game. Stay right here, though. This is also a good game right here.
A big shout out to everybody else in the network, all the other commentators, producers, directors, everything, cameramen.
Yeah, all working hard once again this evening. McCormick running to the outside. Goodrich picks up a block, and the Senators could have had a much-needed turnover right there, but that will bring up 4th down, and they're going to send the punt unit out onto the field, so that was definitely another unsuccessful drive here in the second half for the Badgers after what turned out to be an incredible second quarter, totally different story here in the second half.
And I can't help but imagine that if the Badgers could get past the 50-yard line in some of these drives, they would be going for this because you need the momentum. And, I mean, that's a huge word in this game, and that is a skyrocket of a
Frampton gets a hold of it, and he's not quite done now. He's down. He got tackled by 4 different Badgers. It just kind of landed in his hands, and he had to do something with it.
But that's probably the right decision because I think that ball was going to travel a good distance on the bounce because that's all that these kicks have done or these punts have done. But as I was saying, I think if you see them get past the 50-yard line, they're going to start going for these, but they haven't been able to make much room. And I mean, with Curtis Goodrich out on that past drive, past the first play or two, they weren't able to do too much. Got 1 first down, and weren't able to move on.
And we've seen that even with Robinson tonight. We saw in the second quarter, Deuce Williams was out for a drive, and it ended up being a turnover. And, obviously, he wasn't the one throwing the football, nor was he one that usually goes out and tries to catch the football, but it was still a turnover because you don't have that that X factor out there, that superstar you can rely on. And in the case of Curtis Goodrich, he's their superstar.
and he was out for a few of those plays, and it just kind of put them behind schedule when he was out. It's going to be a run, and I think that will be Cunningham that goes up the middle, and he was able to hold on to the football after a few attempts to try to strip it from him, but he picks up about 5 yards on that play.
And I do want to everybody in chat, apologies for not being able to hear the halftime show. I do see some of you guys talking about it at the time. We don't have an open window, so we weren't able to get a microphone out there, so I do want to apologize for that. But as somebody said in chat, you can go check out Beebe's stream if you want to go watch the band and hear them after the game.
Simpson. Another handoff, and Cunningham, that play blown up there. Big-time defensive stop by Beebe. That was Madden Harbin. They had a first down on the offensive drive by Beebe. Now he comes up with a big tackle for loss. So that will bring up 3rd and long for the Senators. They haven't had a lot of success throwing in this football game. Deuce Williams comes back out onto the field. We'll see what they can draw up right here. Grimes. I believe that may be Braylon Brown coming to this. No, it's going to be Jaden Todd on the near side. Of course, shotgun formation. Looks like Petty and Warrior Benson on that far side. Man in motion is Williams. Simpson rolls out. He's got a man open over the middle. It's Grimes. He's got some blockers. Oh, he's got enough for the first down and a little bit more. So big pickup by Kyron Grimes. And we were talking about that. Maybe let's see some screen passes, some easy completions for Reese Simpson. That should kind of get this offense a little bit going here.
And I do want to say that was a very good set play. You kind of push Deuce Williams into motion, and it kind of forces the defense on their toes because he could do anything at any time, and it allows Kyron Grimes to get open in the around the midfield area and gets an extra about 15 yards, 20 yards, something like that.
I'm curious what you think after this play as Simpson throws it outside, gets it to Warrior Benson. That was a great pass up and over the top of the defense, and I think Warrior Benson has enough for a first down.
I think he's a little short on that. Oh, actually, I
think he's got it. Yep, that's another UAMS first down, but look at Reese Simpson's shoes. Just kind of look at them. Do they not look like the classic Converse.
Those look
shoes.
sick, man. I like those. I haven't noticed.
I don't know
I
if
see that.
I don't know if he's got them like taped up or something.
I think that's tape.
It probably. Well, then you look at the laces on the outside. They look like those Converse.
I like those.
The old school like hard bottom or hard sole Converses that all the basketball players in the 50s used to wear. It's going to be handoff to Trey Petty this time, and he's going to get a lot of yards right there, maybe about 5. Another hard run by the junior.
And I talk a lot about Deuce Williams after contact. Trey Petty is the same way. He's very, very good after contact. I think they're not going to try and run another play in this quarter.
Nope, they're going to let the clock roll down, and it will bring up the fourth quarter. Of course, your Senators with the 35-17 lead after a huge third quarter offensive production. We've seen Deuce Williams and we've seen Trey Petty find the end zone. We'll see after this break to see if they can find the end zone once again. So don't go anywhere. One more quarter of football here on the Robinson Sports Network.
I would say school choice is a great option. You can do your research like we did. Visit with other parents that have children in the district. We visited the schools before we made the choice to come here. We chose to school choice because we have had such a great experience here. Teachers, staff have been so helpful and reassuring, and we've been forever grateful for it. And I'd do it all over again. PCSSD is a great option no matter where you live.
And fourth quarter just about ready to begin here. Your Senators looking to continue their strong drive. Oh, interesting formation here. Reese Simpson Still the quarterback. We've seen Beebe throw in some trickery. The Badgers have had to scramble a little bit. Simpson going to throw it. It's going to be to Redmond. He's going to get the first down. And keep going. Jackson Redmond. Oh, he's not going to stop. Jackson Redmond into the end zone for the touchdown. Oh, my goodness. What a play.
I almost thought at the very beginning of that play it was going to be blown up. The snap went high a little bit, but somehow Jackson Redmond turns it around, takes it. I believe that was about 30-something yards. I
don't know either, but man, wow. So his second touchdown reception of the year. Of course, Coach Updegrove had said he had never actually scored a touchdown ever in his football career.
That his second of the year?
He's got 2.
Yeah.
Now on 3 catches. And
that one's more impressive than the first, though.
You know, if I'm Northwest Missouri State, you may want to play him in more than just a linebacker. You may be able to play in some tight end now.
Even maybe some fullback as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic. So William Tate out there to kick the First Community Bank extra point. Snap, hold, good, kick, up, and nails it. Tate, another one.
And I do want to talk about William Tate a little bit. We talked about at the beginning of the year. His brother was the original last year, and then now William coming into the mix, and he has really improved over the course of this year. I mean, we'll just say it how it is. Wasn't able to hit too many longer field goals, but we've seen him in warm-ups. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities for field goal attempts, but I've been seeing him. He's been hitting 45-plus yard field goals in his warm-ups. Now, obviously, warm-ups are a little different than in-game, but his leg has become a lot stronger, so I feel like that's something that Coach Updegrove can have in his back pocket because we haven't seen it yet. And so just a big shout-out to William Tate because he has looked even better as the season has drawn on.
All right, you know, he hit a 40-yarder last week against Whitehall, and then you know, he started last year as John Tate was still recovering from an ACL tear, and he was kicking very well. Of course, the offense was killing it last year as well, so he's mostly kicking point-after attempts. And once John Tate came back, William Tate was back to as being the backup. And now, after Tate graduated, it's been this Tate brother, and he's been fantastic. But like you said, they've known that he's, you know, reliable, and that is so important, especially in high school, as he kicks this one to the back of the end zone. That's the other thing. You talked about being able to kick further from field goal. Kickoff as well. I don't think that last year he was able to consistently get into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah.
And it may not be the most interesting play or play that happens on a football field, but it's incredibly important because you don't give them the opportunity to return it to the house.
To gain extra yards past the 20.
Yeah, you get it to the 20-yard line. It's a guarantee once you kick it into the paint. So, I mean, you always have to have a kicker with a strong enough leg to get it back there, and he can do that now.
And Coach Up has been trusting him a lot with a lot of these. We were talking about it at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, the onside kicks, and you don't see that with a lot of kickers, especially kickers that are just juniors. And it's going to be fake to Goodrich, and McCormick throws it behind him, and that's going to be more. Will he have enough for a first down? I don't think he will. I think he'll be just short. Yes, he will. He'll be short after that 9-yard catch and run. But Beebe, they've had obviously some interesting formations in this ball game. It's really thrown the Senators off. Empty backfield. McCormick going to run it himself. He's got enough for the first down. And you imagine as the head coach, you got to be saying, slide, slide. We've already seen him take some big hits. Of course, he's just bounced off of them, absorbed them, whatever. But eventually it wears down on a quarterback. And, you know, we noticed that at the beginning of the year with Pulaski Academy. William Sabota was their starting quarterback. Now it's out, you know, now it's Orgill that's their starter, as that pass is going to be incomplete out to the outside. There is a flag on the field, but Sabota was getting a lot of hits because he's, you know, they try to use him as that runner, and you don't need that as your quarterback.
No. Not at all. And if you don't know, quarterbacks are the least protected when it comes to pads.
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of times you see quarterbacks slide before they get hit, and that's why you see you're seeing more of an increase in all levels of football on roughing the passer. We saw a lot of it in the Lakeside game against Robinson.
Yeah.
And it's because quarterbacks are not protected well. There is holding on the Badgers.
Yeah, but
that'll send them back
up
5 yards, but it's honestly very impressive that McCormick is taking as many hits as he is. He hasn't slid once, and he's run the ball quite a few times. So I don't know if I could do it, especially with that little of padding.
No,
Then again, I don't think I could get hit in general. I'm a little fragile.
Will be first and 20 for the Badger offense here. 3 receivers on that far side, 1 on the near side. That's DeMarco Moore. He's gotten a few catches. Goodrich goes out in motion. McCormick and is going to have stoppage and play. Will be another flag. Will be another penalty on Beebe.
And that's been a problem for both sides. This has been a
really
very
for
slow
Beebe,
game in general because of how many penalties are coming about for both teams. But yeah, Beebe has had quite a few setbacks. It's been very, very slow paced because of it.
Same formation for the Badgers. Moore, the lone receiver on the right side. Yep, exactly the same play setup. McCormick, he's under pressure here. Had to get away. Oh, he's running. He just throws it incomplete, out of bounds. He got hit hard on that throw, but he had nowhere to go. I believe that may have been Elijah Watson that was chasing him down there. What would have been, frankly, where he was ending up, a safety, but they were able to get out of that. And, of course, McCormick shaking up, and it's another one of those things. You don't want your quarterback to get hit all that often, and he is definitely slow going to the sideline to get the play call. Wait a second. They called a safety. I didn't even see that. Wow. Well, this happened against Watson Chapel, too, if you'll remember.
Yeah.
Wow, that was... All right, well.
Unless they're calling it down at the 1. Okay.
Okay, so not a safety, excuse me. We were hearing the PB guys.
He got it off in the 1 because that's actually what happened with the Watson Chapel one. It was intentional grounding in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And
but he threw before the end zone.
Yes.
I mean, he landed in the end zone, but he was probably right where, the ball is. Oh, that is
close.
Second and forever. Oh, my goodness. That is.
They are on the 1 yard line, and the first down is on the 43.
Gosh. And it's going to be a handoff to Goodrich. And Goodrich, oh, my goodness, he's going to get a lot of yards here. Oh, my goodness, Goodrich just taking that defense. Oh, my goodness, no way. A flag is on the field, but Goodrich almost picks up the – oh, my gosh. He almost got the first down, which would have been a 42-yard pickup. He's short. We'll see what the call is. It's probably on the Senators. Yeah. Especially after Goodrich, who has to take a playoff now. His helmet went flying.
Well, what to say?
Yeah, Goodrich, get off the field. We need all the help we can get at this.
It was a face mask. I had a feeling because that's why the helmet came off.
My goodness, what a run by Goodrich! There was really no safety help. He broke a safety's tackle, and there was nobody to catch him. And my goodness. If it wasn't for the speed of the secondary, some of the secondary players for the Senators, he would have probably been all the way at the end zone. And he is most definitely up over 1,000 rushing yards this season.
Oh, absolutely.
Harbin,
congratulations to him.
Yeah, Harbin comes back in at running back. He'll get the handoff here. Harbin, big hit there by Tank Reese. Of course, that's the only hits he knows how to give out. But that will bring up second and 3. Harbin's going to stay in the ball game for now. I mean, he's, of course, now had 3 runs. He had a first down in the third quarter. Now he had that 7-yard pickup.
So from the 1 yard line to the opposite 35 in 2 plays.
Gosh. Oh, my gosh. I'm sure Coach Up is tearing out his hair right now. Another handoff to Harbin, and I think he's got enough for another UAMS first down. Goodrich comes back into the ball game. (42-17) is still your score with 10:10 left to play in the fourth quarter. We do have an injured Senator down on the field. I'm not 100% sure who that is, but of course we'll take a second right here. While we have a second, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Here at First Community Bank, we believe that investing in our communities provides us all with a brighter future, and it's something we've been doing since we were founded in 1997. We're proud to support the Senators and everything they do, not just because they're great athletes, but because they represent what makes community so special. People coming together to work hard and make something amazing happen. When you bank local, everyone wins. Go Senators! First Community Bank, where community comes first. So it looked like was the injured Senator Dominio Patterson. Okay, well, he's up pretty quickly, and he's helped to the sideline, and I imagine he'll be back in the ball game. For now, that defensive front consists of Campos, Smith, Elijah Watson, and Trayson King, excuse me. And that's still a great big defensive front that the Panthers, not the Panthers, goodness,
Man,
the Badgers,
today, huh?
I know, the Badgers have to work against. Johnson in motion. Johnson will get the handoff this time. Second handoff for the receiver this game, and he'll pick up a few yards, maybe about 5 yards on that carry. Now we'll bring up second down. Correction, he will pick up 6 yards on that play. So 2nd and 4 with 9:20. And the clock rolling down here in the fourth quarter. Goodrich lines back up at running back, and he's definitely going to have the First Community Bank first down and quite a bit more. He's finally tracked down. Whoa, he just did something. But Damon Sally was able to chase him down. And again, another big pickup for another UAMS first down for the Badgers, and now it will be first and goal from the 5-yard line.
And let it be known the beginning of this drive was one play away from a punt on the 1-yard line.
Brandon Ellis, the defensive tackle, comes in. He's actually the brother of Dominio Patterson, and he comes in to provide a little bit of athleticism along the defensive front, but there is a flag. It will be on the Badgers. So just like that, after a great drive, after picking up, 42 yards on that one play. Oh, my gosh, it still makes me mad. And then, of course, they had the penalty that added to it, and then you had the big Goodrich run right there, and now it backs him up a few yards, 5 to be exact, and it will be 1st and 10, but it will be first and goal from the 10-yard line. Well, thinking about next week right quick, the Badgers will be back at home. Actually, they'll be on the road for their last road trip of the game or of the year against Jacksonville. Of course, your Senators will still be on the road just up the road here in Searcy. Tank Reese and Campos making that stop right there. Did pick up about a yard on the play, maybe even 2. Second and goal with 8 minutes left to play in this ball game.
And this right here, this drive specifically is the exact reason why I think that first drive of the half was so important. Just because you know that the Badgers can pick up anything, especially with a danger like, and that's going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, it was in there. Unfortunately, that's going to be penalty on Robinson after that late hit out of bounds, and they're going to get a few yards. It was an excellent stop on the outside. I don't know who that was. Kalen Norwood comes in for him.
Yeah, that's just a stupid penalty. That tends to happen with Robinson a lot too. There are a lot of late hit calls.
They're a physical football team that's happened a couple of times tonight. That'll definitely be something that is addressed at practice because those hurt. Those hurt a lot.
We're looking at a 4th down if he doesn't get that. Now it's an automatic first down. No, never mind. I'm sorry. I forgot there was no first down to get. My bad. I think that's...
Now, there's going to be a timeout by Beebe, and we're hearing from the Badger radio and commentating. All their guys are saying it should be an automatic first down, especially with it being a personal foul.
That's why I said it. That's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah, so we'll see. The coaching staff of Beebe is talking to the officials right now. As of now, it's 3rd and goal. We'll see if that changes. Of course, there was not a play run between that and now. So they definitely could, in theory, I suppose, they could overturn this right here and make it first down. So the officials still having a conversation here. I'm not really sure if they've changed their minds or not. I don't think they have. So it will remain 3rd and goal. Coaching staff for the Badgers not happy, of course.
And that would be a replay of the down, I believe, is what that would be in this case. It's normally an automatic first down on those because you get past that first down line. But in this case, there's no first down line to get to.
So Goodrich lines up as the Wildcat quarterback. And Goodrich, maybe he's short.
Ooh.
He is short.
Wow.
That brings up 4th down. Big hit on the goal line there.
He was very, very close.
I thought he was going to walk in, and then a Senator came in suddenly and laid a big hit right there. Goodrich heads to the sideline, gets the play. 7:25 left to play in this ball game. 42-17 is your score, but the Badgers have shown they can play with some fireworks and some flair. 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. Goodrich. And I think he's in. He is in for the touchdown. So the Badgers' first score of the 4th quarter. Actually, first score of the entire second half after such a fantastic second quarter of action.
But that's a lot of time ticked off the clock.
That
was I believe, so had the ball at 11:49 on the clock. Takes about almost 5 full minutes off the clock.
Which that's part of the problem when you have a running football team. You just run the clock out, even if your runs are so successful as Rodriguez. That point after is up and good for another First Community Bank extra point make. But that's part of why you throw the football whenever you're in that 2-minute warning type of situation. Because obviously you can get outside, go out of bounds, but it doesn't take as long to get down the field for passing plays than it does in running plays. So, and of course, that's why it's always important to have a team that can, like the Senators, that they can run the football better than, or with the best of them, but they can throw the football. They can go outside. They got the playmakers. So we'll see what the Senators can do here, assuming they even get this football. We know that the Badgers love to attempt these onside kick attempts. They love to have the 3 different kickers around the 40. It's Rodriguez, Lewis, and that is Ruiz as well. So we've seen Ruiz kick a couple of these. Haven't seen Lewis kick them just yet. Of course, he's their punter. Rodriguez, of course, their primary kicker. I knew when he was only averaging under 30 yards a kickoff that they like to do some trickery. We'll see what happens here. And it'll be Rodriguez takes it, and it will be received by Warrior Benson. Of course, always important to have a wide receiver on special teams to catch those onside kick attempts. So the Senators will have pretty solid field position at around the 50-yard line for what could be their last possession, offensive possession of the fourth quarter.
It's a very important.
Yeah, you're right. It's an important possession. I mean, you're up by 18 points, sure, but you want to run the clock out because Beebe has shown that they can still go and put it in the end zone. Run the clock out. You have a great rushing attack. You've shown now as Bryce Young Cunningham comes out as the tailback for the Senators. He's had a productive second half. Give him the football, let him work.
I believe this is the most points that the Robinson defense has given up all year. I'm sorry, no, outside of Jonesboro.
Yeah, Jonesboro, that was obviously a tight game, but yeah, for most points given up in conference play, that's for sure. Again, Cunningham is the running back. Simpson, handoff to his junior running back. He's got a lot of room to work with. Oh, he's going to break free. Do not go out of bounds, and he did go out of bounds. He tried
not to.
As momentum took him out there, but about a 15, maybe even a 20-yard pickup right there.
I think they were on the 49, so that's about a 20-yard pickup.
Yeah. So big-time play by Bryce Young Cunningham. Trey Petty comes in as a running back. Of course, Deuce Williams getting some extended rest, making sure that he is, ready to go if he needs to in this ball game, but definitely ready to go next week against Searcy, who's also, I don't know what their record is, how they're doing tonight, but as of, coming into this week, they were one of 3 5A teams still undefeated. We'll see how they do after this evening. Petty will get the handoff here. He'll bounce to the outside. Petty, they're not even blocking. They don't want to pick up any penalties here, but Petty, big-time pickup. That's another UAMS first down.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, you are very close to scoring very quickly, which is not the greatest thing in the world. And while, it is, again, an 18-point game, you still want to run that clock down as much as you can. No timeouts. You would imagine that they'll let the play clock run as much as possible before they snap any of these.
Cunningham comes back into the ball game as tailback. One receiver either side, but I would imagine they don't even think about throwing the football in this situation. Redmond and Campos, the blockers, switch to the other side of the line. Will be handoff to Cunningham. He's trying to bounce outside and didn't get a lot there, maybe a yard, if not getting back to the line of scrimmage. It looks like there's fog on the field. There is not. That's smoke.
Cool, though.
Yeah, it does look good. Yeah, it's smoke coming from the fireworks that had been shot off, I think, on their last Beebe's last scoring drive. And I don't know if you know this. I don't know which Super Bowl it was. I think it was maybe one the Saints were in. I'm not 100% sure. Or it could have been the Ravens and 49ers like in 2012 or something when there was a halftime performance and there was a bunch of smoke and it just like filled and they're going passing play here, excuse me, and that would have been, it just was in maybe a hair ahead of Braylon Brown right there. But do you know what game I'm talking about? The smoke filled the NFL Super Bowl arena.
I can't remember which one that was, but I know what you're talking about.
I know the commentators were just so mad because it was an indoor arena or indoor stadium, so there was not really any place for the smoke to escape. So it
just
ended up
hovered.
Yeah, it just ended up being a smoky ball game, and it was like there was no reason for it. It's not natural. So, yeah. Deuce Williams comes back into the ball game on third down. Man in motion. Switch it to the other side. Simpson, he's got to get it. He's going to get it to Deuce Williams, who's just going to kind of scamper. And he's going to go down around the 5-yard line. The 7th reception of the season for Deuce Williams. He's up well over 100 receiving yards on the year. Came into the contest with 99. And now he's going to take a play off. It's going to be Bryce Young Cunningham who comes back into the ball game at running back. Of course, they have drained off a bit more than 2 minutes. Of course, Deuce Williams did go out of bounds there, so that the clock did stop for a moment. Todd and Grimes, the receivers for the Senators.
For your Super Bowl thing, I'll actually wait till after this play.
Cunningham will get it here. He follows his blockers up the middle. Will he have enough? Let's see. Yep, touchdown, Senators. Second of the season for Bryce Young Cunningham. Congratulations to that junior.
Yeah, I mean, very well done. Very fast. It started at the 7:03 mark, and they take off about 2.5 minutes there, about 2:10 or so.
You didn't drain the clock you hoped to, but you did add another score to the scoreboard, and that's obviously when you're up 48-24, that's pretty important. But what about that Super Bowl thing? Did you find out?
According to April Parlow in chat, thank you so much, the fireworks smoke that filled the stadium was Super Bowl, it was 2005, which took place at Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. You can go ahead and keep talking.
First Community Bank extra. Oh, he got it. He got it. It's off the crossbar, and he's off the upright, and it's still bounced in. That was a scary one right there. Would have been the second missed extra point by Tate. Don't have to worry about that. He is, I don't know, however many. What is he? 6 of 7 maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So he's had a fantastic
39,
night.
by the way, was the
Super Bowl 39. Okay.
All
right.
Well, yeah, 39. It should be 39.
Okay.
It's between, let's find out.
Well,
the Patriots and the Eagles.
Really?
Apparently.
Oh, okay.
24-21 is what that ended as.
Interesting. Patriots and the Eagles played in the Super Bowl in 2005?
Hey, man.
All right.
I'm reading it right here.
Well, I haven't been in football.
And actually, the Patriots won that one as well.
Well, I knew they did because I don't think the Eagles, their first win was in 2017 when they beat the Patriots. Philly, all of that. And then they didn't win again until 2020.
Funny enough, that is the only Super Bowl held in Jacksonville since then.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because obviously.
Because it got filled.
Yeah, it got filled with the smoke. And, of course, all these Super Bowl halftime performances all have fireworks or things like that. So, yeah, that makes some sense. .451 left to play in this ball game. Tate set to kick this one off. He's been booming them to the end zone for touchbacks all night long. Let's see if he does it here again.
That's exactly what he's going for.
And will be more that receives it here. It's going to be receiving it around the 2-yard line, and immediately he's going to be stopped. Oh, big hit by Kalen Norwood. My goodness, what a hit by the freshman.
Yeah, and he got slowed down there at around the 9-yard line, and it gave Kalen Norwood just enough time to get a big hit there.
Now, he was jogging when he received it initially, waiting for some blockers, and I think him being, a little slow right there ultimately hurt him. So
yeah.
The Badgers will have the football at the 19-yard line. We'll see what they can cook up here. Of course, they're primarily a running football team. It's a little hard to score 25 points in 4:45. Of course, we know they like to do the onside kick, so it's not totally impossible, but we'll see what they can draw up here. Will it be more run plays to Goodrich, or will we see some passing plays finally? McCormick, the quarterback, with Goodrich to his left. Shotgun formation for the Badgers. And there's going to be a flag on the play against Beebe. My goodness, this has been, in the Beebe film room, there's going to be a lot of guys getting chewed out with this movement along the front.
It's really, really bad. I wish we started keeping up after the first couple.
How many penalties? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to hire a statistician. Keep up with some of this stuff.
Anybody want to volunteer?
Yeah. We'd hire you for no pay. It's going to be a fake handoff. McCormick running for his life. He's got to return. Nope, he's going to be sacked. King was one of them in for the stop. I think it was Campos that was primarily doing the stopping right there. But great defensive play by the Senators. Second and 17 for the Badgers.
And the clock just ticking down very, very slowly. Again, these are two top 4 teams in the 5A Central division. 1 for Robinson, 4 for Beebe, according to Hootens.com.
Running to the outside is Cameron Johnson, who's not going to get much there. He will be tackled out of bounds. I believe that was Kalen Norwood making another stop for the Senators. Cameron Johnson's gotten a few handoffs in this half, just hasn't really been able to break away for big-time plays. Of course, he was coming into this ball game with 3 attempts, 66 rushing yards and a touchdown, so about 22 yards a carry. That number will probably decrease after the night's over. So Johnson, along with Jaden Miller, will be on the outside. There are 2 receivers on that far side. DeMarco Moore on the near side. Goodrich goes in motion. McCormick looking left. He's looking deep, and no one was home. Was looking for Johnson. Threw it too far out in front of him as he was in coverage, as Aaron Freeman was in coverage.
This is a little too deep to go for it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, obviously you don't have anything to lose, but you definitely don't want to make a horrible error and give the Senators another touchdown, especially an easy touchdown. So you want to kick this one away. And we got a couple of different returners out there. It's Aaron Freeman, looks like Bryson Cunningham. No, actually that's Evan Hill, who made some great plays last week, including picking up an interception against Whitehall. Luke Lewis is just going to take his time here, and he'll punt this football away. He'll land in front of Freeman. He won't touch it, and the Badgers
gotta fall on it.
Yeah, they had to fall on it, so it will be around the 46-yard line. So we'll see if the Senator starting offense remains on the field, or if we'll see some of the backups. We've already seen a few backups come into the ball game on defense. I saw Jake Witten, also one of the backup safeties that came in, was part of that last drive. I'm seeing a few backups. Yeah, I'm seeing the second-team offense. So we'll see Jake Zanhin, the backup quarterback, get onto the field for the first time tonight.
And in his appearances, he's been quite
nice.
He
has been fantastic. He's been 7 of 9 for 101 yards. That's a 77.8% completion percentage, about 14 yards a completion. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He'll hand off to Petty. Probably won't see much of throwing here, but oh my goodness, Petty, is he going to find a second house call? Yes, he will. Trey Petty.
Is dirty laundry, I think.
Well, as of now, it's a touchdown. We'll see.
Yeah, that is.
We'll see what the call. It's going to be holding on the offense. Oh,
yeah.
For the Badgers, that was a nice break, as what would have been the 8th touchdown of the evening.
Second for Trey Petty.
Yeah, it would have been. Trey Petty's had a very nice night so far. Handoff again to Petty. Breaks a couple tackles. Stiff arms a man, but he will be tackled for a loss right there. Luke Lewis, one of the Badgers, in to make the stop.
Just under 3 minutes to go. And it's looking like, I think it's probably safe to say, that Robinson will move on to 7-0, giving Beebe their second conference loss, knocking them down to 2-2. Robinson is continuing their incredibly dominant season. Searcy next week. That'll be a great game.
That will be 2 teams, both undefeated in conference and overall. As of now, of course, we don't know the Searcy score right now. We'll probably know it, or you're going to do a quick search, but I imagine, I don't even know who they're playing, but I imagine they're probably going to remain undefeated. They've been excellent so far this year. It's 3rd and long for the Senators, 3rd and 13 to be exact after that Trey Petty run. We'll see what they draw up here. They'll probably just try to run the football. They're under 2 minutes left to play in the ball game. Zanhin, the quarterback. Oh, he'll throw it here. He's under a lot of pressure. He breaks the tackle, and that ball just kind of slipped out, but it was in the throwing motion, so it was an incomplete pass. Actually, they're going to try to discuss it to see if it was a fumble or an incomplete pass. No, they're saying it's an incomplete pass. That brings up 4th down. And I imagine the Senators will probably just punt this football away. Not seeing a lot of movement.
To update you on that Resursi score, they were playing Pine Bluff. They are up, if it's not over yet, 50-22 on Pine Bluff. So
the punt unit comes out for the Senators. Looks like that's William Tate back there. Set to send this one away. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities to punt the football this year. Of course, that Senator offense has been so great all year long. Just his 8th punt on the year. Of course, he had 7 all last year. Of course, he was playing as the backup for the second half of the season. 1:39 as it stands to play in the ball game. Tate under a lot of pressure, and it's going to be a line drive punt. Nobody back to receive, and they could just down him really deep here, and that's exactly what will happen. The football will land at the 5-yard line, and the Badgers will have 1:27 to try to take some momentum into next week, make some positive plays.
apologize. I am looking at some other scores across the networks. PA gets downed 42-35 by Cabot. A close game. I think Cabot actually scored in the last 2 minutes.
Minute 40 left to play?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, Pulaski Academy, they've been competitive this year. I mean, they're definitely in kind of uncharted territory. They're not picked top of the conference or anything like that. And of course, they lost to Robinson for the first time in school history in week 0, and so that kind of starting the season off 0-1, a little different for them. So going to be a handoff to the running back there and stopped immediately. That was number 34, Braden Allison, getting the handoff there. Minute 5 left to play in this ball game. McCormick heads back to the huddle with the play call from his coaches. Fans already starting, a lot of fans had already left, but a few more deciding to go ahead and beat the traffic. Handoff again to Allison. And he'll be stopped by the Senators. We'll bring up third down, just 30 seconds left to go. But your Senators will walk away, like you said, with 7 wins on the year and 0 losses. Badgers will run just one more play here. And they will fall to 4-3 overall, 2-2 in conference play, as you said. 5 seconds here, one last play. Allison get a couple yards on that handoff, and that will be it. Your Senators, 7th straight victory. 4th straight conference victory. They remain on top of the entire 5A classification after that big win here at Jim Wooten Field at Bro Irwin Stadium. And, of course, Beebe, they will be back on the road against Jacksonville, ending this 3-game homestand. And they'll play Jacksonville on the 24th, and that will be another interesting game for the Badgers and for your Senators. Probably the game of the year for the Senators, besides Pulaski Academy, besides Jonesboro, is against the Searcy Lions. So we'll be back up here in North Central Arkansas next week. It'll be the last game of the final road trip of the year for the Senators. Again, at Searcy, that will be one heck of a game. Two top-notch offenses going at it, and a top-notch game. But we got to give our offensive and defensive and, of course, total overall MVPs. I'll go first. Offense, it's Deuce Williams. He had 4 rushing touchdowns. Obviously, he didn't do a ton in the second half outside of scoring a touchdown. He only scored just one.
He only scored a touchdown. That's
only
crazy.
One.
Only one in the second half.
Yeah, and then defense, well, actually, I'd have to say, ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna say Dominio Patterson.
I would
because
probably say Dominio Patterson.
He was working really. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my answer. It's gonna be Lennox Campos. He was all over the field.
I was going to say Lennox Campos as well, but I will personally give it to Dominio Patterson. We can kind of have two because there was a lot of tackles and a lot of plays that Dominio Patterson blew up very early on. Mm-hmm. So,
but overall MVP, we know who it is.
Overall MVP, I know who that is. Player of the week, probably. Let me know. Let me know again. Natural State Sports Player of the Week once again. I have a feeling, man, unbelievable.
Deuce Williams. Let's just say we didn't actually say his name. It's going to be Deuce Williams again. But man, what? Oh yeah.
I do want to say that first half honestly was very scary. Let's just put it that way. That was that is the closest we've seen a first half other than Jonesboro, and I think we kind of knew that Jonesboro was going to be close just because it's a playing up team, things like that. Mm-hmm. But this game was very scary because you could feel Beebe finding something in what they were doing on offense, especially with how good. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Curtis Goodrich, he was
running hard, and really. You could argue that it could be 49-17, but they give up that huge 42-yard run for a first down. He barely got the first down on the 42-yard run, but he gets it and leads to a touchdown, 24-49. Your Senators are now 7-0. I think they are very easily in the driver's seat nowadays in 5A Central. Obviously, Searcy's very, very good.
Yeah, Searcy's going to have a thing to say about that.
Absolutely, but that's going to be a fun game next week. I need to take my anxiety meds for that one.
Well, okay, yeah, maybe I will too. Now that you say it, so yeah, like you said, it should be a fun matchup, and definitely tune in next week here on the Robinson Sports Network. But that will be all for us here tonight. Thank you for tuning in to this fantastic matchup here on this beautiful fall Friday evening. Well, we'll see you next week, but until then, have a great evening. Be safe out there. God bless, and go Senators!